Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Easy Allies Community Showcase. I am Brandon Jones. I'm joined by Ben Moore.
Hello.
Hopefully we look okay and sound okay. It's raining.
It is. It's raining hard.
It's raining Norbert's and Sophie's right now.
Yeah, I'm not used to the rain in LA, but it's very comforting. I like it. It's put me in a good, chill mood, I think.
So we're just snuggling like a coffee in the mug. Ben and I are just going to snuggle up for 2 to 3 hours, most likely 3+ hours.
We have a sink crisis.
A sink crisis?
We have a sink crisis.
How is there a sink crisis?
A sink crisis.
That can't be. Oh, maybe this reset? Oh, totally. Hold on.
Issues being solved.
Oh, this is going to be solved in 2 seconds. I didn't know that would reset. Of course, the video's going now. Come on, video. There we go.
Are we synced?
Yeah, we should be sunk now.
All right, let's get sunk.
Sunk for a battleship. All right. If you're frustrated by that sync, know that this could very well possibly be the last community showcase that we do in the garage.
In this garage. What a moment. We
might need to bring in Ian or Damiani or somebody in the controls, because I don't think I'm going to be able to, do all the stuff.
I think we should bring Sophie in on the controls.
Sophie could manage the controls. She might, the timing might not be what we want.
Let's do an interview process.
But she's going to want it. We're like, you're just napping now, Sophie.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, that should have fixed it. Nice. So yeah, settle in, everybody. What the community showcase is, if you're watching this live or the archive on youtube.com/easyallies, this is a $10 and above tier on patreon.com/easyallies. Once a month, we put up a post where people can submit comments, photographs, pieces of art, music, screenshots, which I love. We got some great screenshots. One person gave us a collection. We have several different games.
Their
from
game
one person.
Story?
Yeah, just one slice.
I like that.
Just one little thing. Lots of open world games featured in those screenshots, which I appreciate. And then we're going to wrap the whole thing up with a bunch of great videos. Some of these are continuing series that we get an update from every month. Some of these are just their own specific ramblings. And some of these are geared specifically toward Ben, because I let people know in the submissions post that Ben was going to be here. If you would like to be involved in the January community showcase, just around the end of December, keep an eye out for that submissions post on Patreon. If you are a $10 or above patron, or you can just hang out for the showcase stream when we actually go through all this stuff and talk about everything. I'm jittery because I've had so much coffee, and the Game Awards are tonight, and we got a studio this week, and I just did Cup of Jones.
Looking at these comments,
Smashes tonight.
Brandon, now that you brought up Smash, distractions aplenty. That's what I want to be doing right now. But yeah, looking at these comments, some of them are long, and I appreciate that. That's not an insult.
Some of these are just pages and pages.
No, here we go. This is my showcase, man.
And we're starting it off with someone who does not pull any punches, who takes off the gloves every single time, Mr. Jason A. Sackle, who is, it almost seems like not only does Jason say something that the panelist, that the person in this chair might be like, ooh, it's a harsh blow. It almost seems directly tied to that person. So I don't know if Jason is calling you out here, but I just take a deep breath and just roll with it.
Sure.
I played quite a few games in November. I played the new Spider-Man DLC. Yup, it was more the same. I did get a new bug, though. After completing a mission, I headed to the next mission right after, and a message popped up and said, "You are leaving the mission. I can't wait to see what kooky thing I find next month." I'm really loving Tetris Effect. This has easily been my favorite game this year. The ambience of it is just so divine. I have easily gotten sucked into the rabbit hole of maybe just one more game many times over. PSVR for it is such a treat as well. I also played the Spyro Reignited trilogy. Again, never owned the original PlayStation, so this was all new to me. I think the quality of the games decreased as they went on. I remember my initial reaction after starting the second game was that they were starting to overstuff, and oh boy, these new characters are dreadfully irritating. The third game had some parts that were far from fun. The controls for some of the gimmicks in the latter two games definitely didn't age well. In the end, the first game was fun. Second was passable. Third was, I'm just glad I never have to do any of that skateboarding garbage again. Skateboarding.
That is his opinion about the Spyro games getting worse as they go on is not a common one from what I've seen.
That's the Sackle effect.
Hey, I respect it.
Curveballs every time. Finally, I played Yakuza Kiwami.
Nice.
I really wanted to get into this franchise, and Kiwami being free on PS Plus was a great opportunity to hop in. I agree. I also downloaded it on PS Plus and jumped in and played this mission you're about to talk about. I'll use oh man. The pace was horrible at times. I'll use this early mission as an example. I had to get a ring. Went to the shop and bought it. Got pickpocketed. Chased him. He runs off.
Very well. Yep.
Chased him again. Ran again. One more time. He already magically pawned it. So I went to that shop. Had to get more money. Got more money. Went back. Upped the price. Got more money. Went back. Price was bumped again. got more money. Owner realized my character was telling the truth and gave the ring back, rendering the prior steps just a complete waste of time. This is sadly what a good portion of the game is. A complete waste of time. I have been told that a lot of the charm comes from the minigames, but when the main story is usually to rescue someone or presented in something urgent, it feels disconnected from what the character would do. I thought back to Shenmue. Even though there was an urgency to the plot, and you can ultimately fail the game with a bad ending if too much time passes, Shenmue has events requiring you to go somewhere the next day or at a later time, allowing you to have reason to spend that time on less trivial tasks. After finishing the story for Kiwami, I had no real desire to go back. And aside, changed my PSN name, no issues experienced so far. Can we change our PSN names now?
Man, like, I was on board with the Shenmue pacing, but to counter that with Shenmue pacing, I don't know if that's the most convincing argument to me, but that's all right.
I will say this, just from having played that and played that mission, and I was like, wow, this is this ring issue, this is going on.
Yeah.
It definitely had a payoff immediately following, because that ring is a I don't know if it's, I would call it like a plot device, but like you are introduced to that ring, like that ring does represent a relationship that more than one character has with each other. And I think I do some crazy mental gymnastics when it comes to, even in Red Dead, I went through playing as a good guy, now I'm playing as a bad guy. And my whole structure of like how Arthur's brain works has totally changed now. It's like, where it's like, why am I doing this? Okay, if I made that decision, why did I do that? Like, why am I so ruthless? Why did I save that person yet kill that person? And I think with Yakuza, like, the idea that I get is that if Kiryu wanted to, he probably has the money, he has the know-how to just like buy a shop and just leave the business. You know what I mean? Just like, just leave Kamurocho, just go up into the hills.
He does kind of do that.
And well, again, there's so much of the series I haven't experienced, but like the vibe I get kind of also in GTA is that like being in the life, actually living in the city, actually going around and seeing all these people, it's going to be a circus, and he kind of knows it. Like, it's kind of the world that surrounds him is just so much crazy distraction pulling him away from the things that matter. And I don't know, maybe that was just my expectations, but it's something I've always associated with Yakuza.
It's unfortunate, I think, that they put Kiwami as the free one. There are things I really love about Kiwami, but I feel like on Frame Trap, Huber and I had a moment where it's like, man, I wish we could just put a sign out front on the garage that is like, start with 0. Yeah. Because I also think if you play 0, it makes Kiwami a lot better, because the things that they're showing you have a lot more weight because they kind of set them up in 0. And so I get it. I actually think a lot of that criticism is totally valid.
Sure.
But yeah, if you're looking to get into the series, I would encourage people to start with 0.
I also like it because you clearly see someone who's obsessed. Maybe it's just Kiryu all the time, but like he's obsessed with his job. He's obsessed with his status. He wants, the company, his business, his brotherhood to act a certain way. He wants to carry himself. That first scene with Majima is solid gold. And him having to do this ring thing is like, does this really matter? Do I really, is there no one I can just get to do this for me? And so it shows like his struggle between having friends, having a relationship, and, not only doing the things he needs to do for his business, but trying to get advancement, trying to, have the Yakuza, have his gang be as good as they can be. So that being trivial maybe seemed intentional, but I don't know. I'm curious to put more time into it.
I mean, you also have to keep in mind that it is a remake of a mid-2000s game.
Right.
So it's being faithful to the very beginning of what that series was.
Shadow2222. Hello, Brandon and Ben. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I've been a patron for quite a few months and participated in the Q&A, but this is my first time writing in for this. I was the one that recently asked about the metal music and appreciated the mention of Dream Theater, since they are my favorite band.
This is awesome already.
Are we the only two allies that have heard Dream Theater?
Oh, no, I bet Brad has.
Brad? Okay,
yeah.
good.
That'd probably be it, though.
Here's a quick story of how I got into them, and really metal in general, thanks to gaming. Rock Band 2 featured their song Panic Attack, which really sparked my love of them and all music. I've seen them at least 1 to 2 times on every tour since then, have done multiple meet and greets, etc. I'm definitely a super fan. The reason I mention all of this is that they recently announced their tour dates for their upcoming album, and for the first time in many years, they aren't playing within 6 hours driving distance of where I live in Ohio. I'm not setting any plans in stone. I'm genuinely considering flying to LA, a city, state, and side of the country I've never been to see them play 2 nights in a row at the Wiltern on March 21st and 22nd. Ooh, March 21st. It's a big day. Coincidentally, the very next day was the Easy Allies 3-year event. I have no idea if I'll end up coming, but it'd be a great excuse to fly to California to see you guys in person, as you are the first and only YouTuber Twitch that I follow. Your genuine and heartfelt friendship and warmth is something that I hope we all strive for, and I know I've learned a life lesson or two watching, hoping to meet you eventually. Love and respect, Tyler.
That was very nice.
Ben, what has metal added to your life?
Metal has added to my life. Man, I don't know. I really fell in love with it in high school, and it became my favorite genre of music. And I just really, to boil it down super simply, I enjoy people being insanely good at instruments. Yeah. That's it. Like, I just enjoy hearing really rad drumming, bass playing, guitar solos, all of that. Like, it's nice to see somebody who has not only mastered their craft but gone so far above and beyond. I think it's awesome.
I know it's not metal. I mean, they planted some of the seeds for what metal became, but I never saw The Song Remains the Same, the Led Zeppelin movie, and it's on Amazon Prime right now, so I was watching a little bit of that, and man, just a close-up cam on Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
Mesmerizing.
Just noodling
like
away,
that guy. Woo! That guy is comfortable with that instrument.
Yeah.
But I think... for me, it was Metallica, no question. That was the first introduction I ever had. And I think probably before anything, it was like, I probably saw a music video of Metallica. It was probably like the first time I actually like heard their music. But I would imagine, living in Southern California, I probably saw a Metallica t-shirt before anything. Yeah. That was probably the first time I saw the word Metallica.
Oh, man.
Was somebody wearing a Metallica shirt at like some Boy Scout retreat.
That Metallica art is so good. Yeah, I could go on for hours about Metallica.
The only way I would accept a redesign of the Easy Allies logo if it was just a bit more like Metallica's.
Jones, don't say things like that, because like I would actually argue for that in a meeting. Like, hey, let's go this
Even
direction.
just a t-shirt.
People
just
would probably
a super metal Easy Allies shirt.
Yes.
We're like, it is the red and white logo, but the red's like bleeding out of it.
Yep.
Gar, which is a very metal name. Gar. Devil May Cry 2.
Oh God.
Is one of the best games I've ever played.
Are you being honest with yourself?
Let's break down its greatness, mission by mission.
Okay.
Mission 1. This opening environment is huge, sprawling, and open-aired, much better than Portal 1's cramped corridors and testing rooms, though not quite as good as Inside's closing day at the beach level. Talk about an open world. The combat is reminiscent of that part in The Witness where you're on a boat and then you're in the air, spoiler, and your windshield gets splattered with flies and gnats. The camera got carried over from DMC1, which is good because it's the only thing I liked about that game. Speaking of DMC1, what kind of a messed up game design makes the act of trouncing foes fun and even rewarding? As Matthew Matosis, DMC2's director, points out in his 2-hour Devil May Cry commentary YouTube video, tisn't right to delight in a fight. Battles should be serious, heavy, repetitive, and miserable, which is what DMC2 accomplishes in its opening minutes. In conclusion, case closed.
All right. I see where you went there. I appreciate the direction. Yeah. That game is just busted and weird, and everybody knows why Devil May Cry 2 sucks. There's no point going on about
now.
But
At the time, I didn't finish Devil May Cry 1 because I think I was just bad at it. And other games just, whenever I think about a PS2 game I didn't play, like MGS2, it's like, it was probably one of the Grand Theft Autos, like I was playing instead. But I then played 2, and 2 was so much easier that I breezed through it, and I was like, that was great. And so that was me appreciating just what Devil May Cry was, but not understanding how good it could be. And so it wasn't until like the game trailers days that people were like, oh no, Jones, that game sucks. And I was like, oh, it does?
I mean,
didn't play 3, didn't play 4.
It's easier because it like circumvents itself. You don't even need to engage with any of its stuff to be effective. Like, you can handle pretty much every boss fight by standing in place and just shooting your pistols, and that's it. Like, that's more effective.
There's
than
one boss that doesn't even appear
the
on screen if you like move over to one side.
Yeah,
it's like a helicopter.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and you can still shoot it even though it's off screen. It's
great.
Nuts.
I don't see any problems.
But like, I don't know. It's just not fun. It's just not fun. I feel like it's playing itself.
Stephen Beaumont. Hey, Jones and Ben. Not too much to update this month for me. I finished Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and collected 5 new shinies, Slowbro being my favorite. I almost finished Red Dead and actually have a spoiler mode to thank, your spoiler mode to thank, for pushing me through. I'd started to spin my wheels a bit in Chapter 4, so I felt I would watch your spoiler mode, spoilers don't ruin great things from being great, in case I gave up on the game. Now I'm 75% through the story progress, so the things are all happening, and I absolutely love Arthur Morgan. As someone who was worried about his character portrayal in the ads, so was I, faking us out with Dutch's lines seeming to come from him, I have no doubt that he is in the top 5 or 10 of the video game protagonists. Looking to the Game Awards, Looking to the Game Awards, let us put our hands together and ask the video game gods for our first trailer gameplay of Metroid Prime 4. And even maybe even set after the events of Fusion, please. 2 final notes for Ben to champion. Can we have a jolliest goatee category for the EZA Awards? My picks would be amongst Kirby Star Allies, Dragon Quest XI, and Pokemon Let's Go.
I'm glad you put Dragon Quest on there. That'd be my vote.
Also do Overcooked, I think is pretty jolly.
Yeah,
also, due to the
Brandon.
unfortunate nature of time and games not being released in a vacuum, can we please give Hollow Knight an award? Let's make it Metroidvania of the decade and call it a day. Love and utmost respect. P.S. Not hyped on the money grind of Red Dead Redemption 2 online. Skip. That's fine.
Brandon, I gotta say,
better.
Red Dead Redemption 1 is probably my game of the generation for last generation.
Nice.
And with Red Dead 2, I think going in with that level of love for the first game, I was a little bit like, I don't know, I'm not feeling this as much. Chapter 6 now, that game has really come together for me in a beautiful way, and I feel very strongly about it, and I'm excited to get to Goatees because of it and hash some things out with the rest of the allies.
Yeah.
It'll be good. That game has some surprises up its sleeve.
I have things to say about that game,
I bet
Ben.
you do.
But you got to get that 100. When you go to the story screen, it's got to say 100%. Then we can talk.
I mean, I will finish the story. I can't promise you I will 100% the game.
The story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I will 100% the story. Yeah,
no, I'm not. Sure. I'm 89.2%.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm out.
I can't do every.
I'm 100% online
now. In the game.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Zachary Walton. Hey, Ben and Jones. After taking a break from games to get caught up on anime and Gunpla last month, I'm back into the video game scene. I've been asked to be on a video game podcast to discuss one of my favorite game soundtracks, and I figured it was a perfect time to revisit a title that just so happens to be one of my favorite JRPGs and open world games of all time, Xenoblade X.
Nice.
Xenoblade X is a divisive game in nearly every category, from its core structure to its visuals, and especially its music. It's my favorite in all of these categories, and I'll get into it all now. First, I love the structure of Xenoblade X. It does have a very intentional MMO feel to it, with the story being doled out through missions accepted from either a central hub or icons throughout the map. The lack of traditional narrative progression does feel a little stilted, but I really grew to like it, as it was easier to pick back up after an absence. I knew exactly where to go to continue the story, which isn't always the case in more traditional games. Speaking of the story, Xenoblade X has one of my favorite plots from Monolith Soft. I've already spoken at length earlier this year about my initial playthrough of Xenosage episodes 1 through 3. Playing those games have allowed me to appreciate the story in X all the more, as they share a lot in common, and the ideas present between Saga and X help to further connect the Saga and Blade games in my mind. Any takes on this so far with Saga?
Not any takes on Saga. I don't know if I would say it's my favorite story that Monolith has done, but I agree with a lot of what he's saying.
I know people really trash on the character models in X, but I kind of like the weird HD-era Xenosaga-esque anime doll faces. They're nowhere near as charming as the characters in Xenoblade 2, but it's definitely something I have a fondness for. Nobody can deny the visual design of the world is bad, however, as Xenoblade X has one of the most gorgeous open worlds in games. Nobody can deny the visual design of the world is good, or nobody can say the visual design of the world is bad. However, as Xenoblade X is one of the most gorgeous open worlds in games. Every environment is distinct, with strange and fantastical flora and fauna that are ripped straight out of a 1980s sci-fi manga. I normally hate most open world games because of how samey most environments feel, but I feel like I never see the same thing twice in X. And finally, we get to the music. I think Hiroyuki Sawano's score is fascinating because he didn't write a traditional game score. He's a television and film composer, and he wrote a score more suited to those mediums. It's easy to see why it could rub people the wrong way, though, either through his abrasive electronic orchestral style, or how the music is sliced apart to fit within the game. It also didn't help that the audio mixing is real bad during cutscenes. All that being said, I adore Sawano's work, and I can't wait to go to bat for it in a few weeks. I would love to write more, but I'm probably already over the limit. Apologies. I just wanted to gush over how much I love a stupid video game for a stupid console, whether neither got the chance to receive the love they deserved. P.S. I also wanted to thank Ben for the Xenoblade X love during last year's Opinion Yell. I know he doesn't have a lot of love for it, but it meant a lot to me to see him sticking up for it. Love and respect.
I don't know if I would say I don't have a lot of love for it. I do. It's hard to, people love it when you rank things or give things a number. It's hard to do that because it's so different, and I think that's what I admire about it. Like, people will go on tears for days about how much they hate that soundtrack, but I really truly like that soundtrack a lot. It is so weird and bold and out there, and it really speaks to the game itself, because it's a game where I think most people will spend a couple hours in it and they'll go, this isn't for me. And it's like the epitome of delayed gratification, where I think it does take hours and hours and hours and hours, and then once you get into it, you're like, oh wait, this is brilliant. But it is kind of a huge wall to climb over, not only in understanding how the battles work, but just getting anywhere or doing anything or uncovering the story or getting your scale. Like, it all takes a lot of time, but I think if you're willing to put in that effort, it does reward it in a pretty magical way. So yeah, I am super pumped that he's writing about it. I don't agree with every point. Like the story, I didn't think was that special, but
as an open world fan, Ben, that series has always just been right over there on the other side of the hill. I'm just like, maybe like Yakuza, I'm just getting into now, but I've always been so tempted. That first Xenoblade Chronicles trailer where the mech takes off from the cliff, I'm like, I want to do that.
It's awesome.
I tend to just like automated battle systems that, like, the strategy's there if I want to, but if I want to just tap, I can do that as well. And I know that's definitely not the case in any Xenoblade game. Like, it's very complex. You have to use all the systems to get through.
It's kind of what I've been feeling with Artifact recently, where, like, with Artifact, I'm like, oh, yeah, most digital card games I play really are just offshoots of Magic, and the reason why I'm able to get into them so quickly is because I've spent a lot of time with Magic, whereas Artifact is like, no, man, we're going to be completely different, and so it feels like I'm learning it all over again. I feel like Xenoblade is kind of like that, where it's like, you can't rely on that other JRPG knowledge as much. Like, it'll definitely help you, but it is kind of in its own space doing its own thing, and so it's a hump to get over.
And now on to, I don't know if it's just because the person's sitting next to me or if these questions are specifically designed for them, but like, it just feels like just Ben time. All these pages just say Ben to me. On to Pokemon.
Hey, it's Brandon and Ben time.
Carl, it is. Brandon and Ben. Carl Williams. Hey, Brandon and Ben. Pokemon anime thoughts, part 3.
Oh.
All about the characters. Let's begin.
Okay.
1. Team Rocket are still the best characters, but they have a few faults. Their new motto sucks. Jessie got stuck with 2 lousy Pokemon, Seviper is absolute trash, and Dustox is completely useless.
I love this. Not holding back.
Mime Jr. is adorable, but seeing Chimecho leave the party so soon hurts. And while I appreciate that they are still the primary antagonists, I really wanted to see more of Team Magma and Team Aqua in the Hone region, since I hardly know anything about them. Ash is still trash. I love it. Can Brock please do something in Sinnoh after falling for girls, cooking, and commenting on Gym League battles? Number 2, I didn't think it was possible to find someone I loathe more than Ash, but the show proved me wrong.
Wow.
I'm, of course, talking about May. The truth is, I don't like Pokemon is not a good first impression. All she did was make me think she's the female Ash, only much worse. Doesn't know jack about Pokemon and must rely on plot armor to help her with Pokemon contests. Seeing Nurse Joy rightfully scold May for overworking her Bulbasaur in a Pokemon contest brought a huge grin to my face. To Dawn and all the other female companions that I know, please do not be like May. Number 3. As for Max, May's younger brother, I liked him a lot. Unlike May, he knows his Pokemon, some of the time. He can sometimes provide savage commentary to both Ash and May, which they deserve. And with Misty gone, it's his job to C-block Brock the Rock. His behavior after his dad losing a gym battle to Ash was not a good look. Nor was thinking Tracy was awesome. Tracy will never be awesome. But whatever, I ended up... It seems like I'm recapping an episode of Friends or something.
This person is just... hate watching Pokemon.
Isn't it great?
It's amazing. They're like committed to this hate watching.
But whatever, I ended up liking him way more than May. Shame he'll never get that promise to Ralts and be its Pokemon trainer, all because Ash will never age because he'll never become a Pokemon master. That infinite loser. 4. Hone rival takeaways. May sucks, but she got the better rivals. Drew can be smug at times, but he can be humble too. Harley is a grade A prick, and he's great. He will do anything to sabotage May in the Pokemon contests. And can't knock him with the sense of fashion. Wear an outfit that sort of resembles one of your Pokemon? Genius. And seeing him cosplay as May at one point was hilarious. I wish I could share the same enthusiasm for Ash's rivals. Tyson, the Hone League champ, should have been Ash's main rival. Instead, we're stuck with that piece of shit Morrison. This chump thinks he's Ash's equal, but when the time comes to finally face Ash in the tournament, what does this clown do? He freezes up like a little bitch in his match, nearly to the point of losing via forfeit. Can't believe Ash bailed him out and let the match continue. If Ash had lost, I would have hated him even more than I already do. Morrison had no place of even existing to begin with. That's how much I hated his guts.
Wait a minute.
Morrison had no place to even existing to begin with.
Do you think there's like a 10% chance that this is like Stealth Kyle? That like he just made an account.
Okay,
paid a couple
Carl
bucks on
Williams.
Patreon. Okay, yeah.
Once again, I've hit the limit. Next month's lengthy comment on the show will be the last one, hopefully. The reason I don't think it's Kyle is Kyle wrote one of the entries for the latest countdown that we have. We got a great countdown this month.
Yeah.
And I was going through Kyle's segment, and like it is Kyle. Like it is like
Okay.
even if I do my inflection, like it's like a lot of things. Like look at this stupid thing, and I was like, okay, let's take the stupid out.
Yeah.
You know, like
No, don't take it out.
because that's clearly Kyle.
No, I'm just kidding. You could have expressed that hatred anywhere, and I mean this with all sincerity. I'm grateful that you expressed it here. Thank you.
I love it.
Carl
There's
Williams.
hot takes. Come fast and
I like
furious.
it. I like the hot takes
on the showcase concerning Pokemon. Brandon K. Gann, as I alluded to last month, this is part 2 of 2 in celebrating great people via Easy Allies. Last month were the allies themselves, always being a guaranteed source of jolly vibes. But for this month, I want to focus on those who I've interacted with or shared in being a part of a stream or video. So naturally, I want to start by showcasing, well, this very showcase. I want to say it's a lot of fun to hear everyone's thoughts about their previous month, opinions on different games, or even their stories and memories about a moment where gaming did good for them. To all of those who submit artwork, compose music, make videos, capture fantastic photos, and share in your creativity however you see fit, you are incredibly talented, and I hope you never give up in continuing to create and share. It is an absolute delight to just be a part of the same stream as listening to what love and respect sounds like on the high seas, or as an RPG fight, watching an update on a video game being made, or going on a world tour to lands I'm not sure I'll ever visit. While I contribute every month to the showcase with a comment, the bulk of my interactions are in the forums, and it's there I really want to express my gratitude. I'm so glad we're talking about forums. Being a part of various threads and conversations is a really good time, be it topical chats like our thoughts on the Game Awards or discussing the latest episode in a given show. But my favorite threads are when we come together for fun things like games or countdowns. For example, being a part of the threads where we came up with the top 100 games of all time, GOTY threads, not only in the present year, but past ones as well, and determining what the top 50 characters were are my absolute favorite times being on the forums. There are also times when I start some ideas and they'll take on a life of their own. Like when I try to start the E3 threads for each conference about a week prior so everyone can give their thoughts, predictions, hopes, dreams, reactions, and analysis. Or when I ran the Kill Your Babies and a fun subset called Selective Creation threads for a year covering practically every topic you can imagine. Currently, the only thing I'm curating is the forum's Master Desire Index, and at one point, the list was 120 plus games strong, and has slowly dwindled to under 100. Of course, all of that wouldn't have meant anything without all of those who contributed in every one of those instances. So, once again, a heartfelt thank you for being a part of a place that, in my personal experience, has always been welcoming and engaging. If you've never been a part of the forums and or are interested, all are welcome, and I hope to see you there. Wonderful comment.
This is such an excellent comment. Man,
I feel good.
If I only was able to do two things, like talk about games on the internet and play video games, I would be satisfied for life. And like we didn't have to have a forums, and I'm really glad that we do, and I'm glad that this person is taking advantage of that to express something that they love. That's it. Like, it doesn't get better than that.
And I also appreciate just any kind of initiative on the part of our community to start things, to get things going that we're not doing, or create, if we are doing something, create the community version of that.
Yeah.
And we talked about this on Cup of Jones today. Like we don't really have a terrible amount of community involvement beyond the Q&A portions of stuff that we do.
And I feel like terribly guilty about that, because I wish that we did, but it's like
it's one of the goals moving forward.
Yeah, it is, and it's something that I do hope that we get better at. But considering like what this operation is, and just time investments in all the different categories that we need to invest time into, I feel are stretched thin in a lot of ways. But it is so nice to see the community be like, hey, no, we got this, and really get in there and do so much. So I think there are a lot of unsung heroes out there that really hold those things together, who are totally not us. So hats off to them. Absolutely.
Mr. Dolphin. Hello again, allies! Hope my comment prints correctly this time. Good thing Ben is here for this showcase, because I really wanted to discuss fighting games.
Nice.
I recently purchased a fight stick and have been enjoying games such as Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the SNK Neo Geo fighting games for Switch, and many others. I was wondering if you were all considering having more fighting game representation for streams, group streams, or maybe even a show similar to Giant Bomb's ranking of fighters, or even Fancy 15. I believe fighting games could really benefit from the structure of that series, yeah. I know that the genre isn't among the favorites for the allies besides Ben, but those games create objectively the best streams. I would say Kyle and Damiani are probably the next tier of fighting game fans. Huber was really into Injustice, as was I, but...
Yeah, it's weird because, I mean, we can get into it, but is there more of that comment?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The last Blade 2 stream especially will go down in history as one of the greatest streams EZA has ever produced. I would definitely recommend the allies play Guilty Gear, Xrd, Rev 2.
Yes.
It was Xrd, right?
Yep, you got it.
And Darkstalkers Resurrection. I've always wanted to jump into Darkstalkers.
Yeah, Darkstalkers is like just some of the best characters design in the biz.
Aesthetically, that's my jam.
Yeah.
For a group stream, it would be incredibly hyped to see Huber, Brad, and Ian play Darkstalkers, since that game's gothic and supernatural style is right up their alley. I demand that anytime Gothic is brought up, that my name be mentioned as well. I don't know what I have to do to communicate to people how much I love Gothic anything. Just sad and shocked.
Yeah.
Dismayed that my name wasn't included. They wouldn't even have to be tournament streams. Most of the time, it's more enjoyable to see you guys mess around with characters and the game as a whole, similar to the Injustice 2 stream, rather than seeing the chaos ensue when Kyle holds a strict adherence to tournament rules by not being able to pick other characters during the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Tournament. Also, I was wondering what the chances are you'd have Maximilian and Yo Video Games as guests for a group stream. We have requested Maximilian.
I've personally
times,
requested Maximilian.
You and Damiani are really connected with Maximilian. We talk to him a lot. He's just a very, very busy guy. No salt.
Absolutely no salt.
No shots fired. We are both busy as well. My personal Maximilian is Mega 64. I talk to those guys all the time. Rocco, we came so close. Rocco actually reached out to me and he's like, I'm in town next Wednesday. And I was like, dude, that's the day Red Dead comes out. Like, I can't, like, I'm going to be working on my review that day. And he was like, well, I tried. And like, because they're down in San Diego. And so it's like, they're close, but not super close.
I have nothing but love for Max. I think that
he's
guy.
Amazing.
I think that guy.
He's really, really great.
Not only has a great personality, I think he really, like, you can see the effort that he puts in every single day. I mean, that guy works his ass off and has earned his community that he's built up, and I really respect the guy.
I've seen Damiani on some of their content, as well as Simmons on Damiani's Friend Code podcast. I'm aware that not everything that's ideal can happen or pan out, but it would just make for some really jolly vibes. Much love and much respect. A classic quote from Brad Ellis as he's standing in the doorway of our stage room.
Yeah.
And he was like looking, he's like, hey, Jones, he's like, we got to have more guests in here. I was like, Brad, that's the whole point.
I know that's especially sore for you because you want more guests. Like you're definitely
but
on
it's just
board
great
that
seeing him
initiative.
look at the room and kind of look around the studio. And it's like, we should have people by here. It's like, yes, we should.
Yeah.
We should invite lots of people to come by.
Yeah, it's not that we don't want to, I think. But I do want to talk about the fighting game thing really quick, just because it's something that like I'm super interested in. And like Ben's dojo has been a learning process because it's like, you see people get upset where it's like, oh man, he really likes Tekken and he streamed Tekken for a while and he's not doing it anymore. And it's like, yeah, everybody wants a slightly different thing. And that sometimes conflicts with what I want, where it's like, man, it would be nice to stream Tekken every day. And I think that would make for better streams that progress a little bit farther. But then it's like, well, we have all of these other things that we need to do. I have all of these other shows that I'm responsible for. And so I think it can be hard finding a balance. And you don't want it to just be one person. You do want to get other people involved. And I think it's also hard in a year like 2018 where there have been so many quality fighting games that deserve that time as well. And so, I think it can be hard finding a balance, but it's definitely something that like I'm interested in continuing to pick away at and improve on.
I don't know if Blood is mentioning this. I want to like write it down as a note. We were talking about genres for the Game Awards and we were picking the Game Awards for our Goaties. And I forgot we should definitely do best Metroidvania. Because this year, man, this year was so intense for really, really, really good Metroidvanias.
But like
I'd love to see what comes out on top.
You've mentioned that you're like, hey, I'm interested in like really giving Smash a shot, and that's exciting to me.
Yeah,
like let's do it. Like let's give Smash a shot.
I don't know how much of a shot I'll give it before next Tuesday. So
sure.
I'm gonna go. Me and Simon Belmont are gonna go down in a I'm trying to think of a Castlevania reference, and I'm way too tired to do it. We're going to go down in a ball of flames, which there are balls of flames in Castlevania, but specifically, what's the potion you throw?
Holy water.
The holy water.
Yeah.
Go down in the hellfire of holy water. Joseph Caruso, good day, Mr. Jones and Mr. Mole. I finally got to experience PlayStation VR last night, and I wanted to share my impression as an early adopter of the virtual reality headsets on PC, the Oculus Rift, and HTC Vive. I was so excited for VR 3+ years ago that the upcoming hardware was the main reason I decided to get into PC gaming. While I've had plenty of truly magical moments on both my Rift and Vive, super awesome that you have both of those, I have to say that I'm overall disappointed that the success and support of modern virtual reality seems to have more or less remained stagnant since its launch in 2016. I would agree. Most VR titles are still relatively low budget, and I end up playing only a few hours a month at best, regardless of the incremental improvements to the hardware itself. I've been waiting to play Resident Evil 7 in VR for years now, and there's still no VR support for that title on PC, so I finally caved and got myself a third virtual reality headset since the bundle with Astro Bot was on sale, and I kept hearing how good that particular title is.
It is
interesting for PSVR to be the last VR you buy, because it's the cheapest, it's tied to a console a lot of people own, so it's an interesting way to go about it.
If you want to be happier, if you're like, man, I could stand to feel better today, play Astro Bot.
There's not many games.
It's like a pill.
There's not many. It's one of those games you dance while playing.
Yeah, it's
like
so
I'm playing Astro Bot like
wonderful.
this. I'm like da, 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 like whatever the tune is for the like the level. Like the first level where you're on the tracks and you got to jump like from track to track.
Yeah,
I was laughing like the whole, I was like, this is fun.
Yeah, it's just giddy. It's giddy. It like completely destroys that part of yourself that wants to be like, well, the ray tracing could be better here. Like it just melts away and you're like, oh my god, it's just beautiful. Yeah, it's awesome.
Setting up the PSVR was about as easy as I expected, and while the Vive and Rift aren't exactly uncomfortable to me, Sony's headset is comfortable in its own unique way, being lightweight and applying pressure to less sensitive parts of your head. Since I use a powerful PC, the virtual reality on PS4 Pro is not as high fidelity as most titles on my computer, but it's certainly not a night and day difference, I assure you. I've only played the first few levels of Astro Bot, but it's done an excellent job reminding me that software is way more important than hardware. I've even played similar 3D platformers in VR before, such as Lucky's Tale, but this game is polished and absorbing on another level.
Yeah.
It's depressing that modern VR feels so niche and limited in scope, despite the technology being so impressive. But games like Astro Bot help me accept that it's okay if VR never reaches the heights of the rest of the industry, as long as these titles keep getting better and continue to make our jaws drop every once in a while. What I'm trying to say, if you have a PlayStation 4, get a PSVR. You may not be playing the next Naughty Dog title on it, but you'll be blown away in ways you weren't expecting.
I feel like kind of at the advent of indie games taking more of a presence within games media, there was this like separation between normal games and indie games, and then that eventually changed. It's like, no, these are just as good as everything else.
Yeah.
I feel like Astro Bot like immediately takes that place where it's like, no, this isn't just good for a VR game. It's not just surprising. It stacks up against everything else that has come out this year. So there's no reason to separate it, in my opinion.
And I think one of my favorite things about Astro Bot, I'm going to repeat this again when we talk about GOTYs, but like kind of reminds me of Mirror's Edge in that platforming in first person is terrible. It's just it's just a thing you don't want to do too much in your first person shooting game. And it's funny to see Mirror's Edge be like, that's the whole game, baby. And it works.
It did.
Like obviously the most recent Mirror's Edge was problematic, but like when I first saw the trailer for the first Mirror's Edge, I was like, whoa, this is just so crazy. It might work. And it was really interesting seeing them be like, we're going to take this thing that doesn't work in a lot of different games and we're going to lean into it and do it well. And in platformers, it's always bad to not see your character, to like move up somewhere where you're like, well, now I can't see it, you know? And like, sometimes it's okay when you're like doing shortcuts or you're getting secret items in hidden places. But there's parts of Astro Bot where like, no, I need to get past this area. And I'm like up there, like, And it's funny to see Astro Bot be like, no, more of that, please. You know, like that's the whole game is you just like, where is he? Oh, there he is. You know, it's like, and have that be the challenge. And I love it. You know, like it's still like even moments where it's like, I can't, like one of the things that helps is when you jump, lasers shoot out of your feet if you double jump. And so it damages stuff, but it also helps you, there, like I can land right on it. And it's surprising, like I'll get past a little platform and it's like, I should have fallen off that ledge, but I didn't. I don't know if you just get cozy with it and hard game to put down. Man, that game is so much fun. I'm looking forward to talking about it at GOTYs.
It's great.
Best VR game will definitely be. I felt hesitant putting in the last couple of years because I'm like, there's some of these games I've missed.
Right.
And I think just speaking of where we are with VR, the fact that I've played all of them extensively, more than once, you know, like at events and other stuff. And so like, I think we're finally getting to that point. I think maybe one of the big tipping points is I'm curious to see how PSVR is going to be priced with the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I'm.
Is it going to be bundled? Is it going to be included? Is it going to, like, it'll be really interesting to see Sony be like, get it. Like, you need this to really be a part of what we have planned for this gen.
I hope, because I feel like PSVR specifically has built up so much momentum this year. And since we are transitioning to the new consoles, I hope that momentum carries over.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to wait to get to this level of quality.
Dude, Art of Fleck nails it. I miss Ape Escape. Can you imagine Ape Escape VR?
Yeah. Brandon, I would just like any more Ape Escape. That'd be nice. Like,
but imagine, did you ever play Dino Crisis?
Yeah, I did.
Imagine like Dino Crisis, where you're just seeing your character run around, because the whole thing is finding the apes. I mean, catching them, but like there were a lot of hidden apes from what I remember, and so actually in VR being able to, like, there's a little bush like right here by your head, and you're like, oh, like there's an ape right there.
Kind of like the Star Fox 64 and the Rumble Pack. I feel like Ape Escape was like, this is the DualShock game, man.
Nice.
Remember that time?
Christopher Fields. Hi, Ben and Brandon. I'm here to review games based on the allies I've played for the first... I'm here to review games based on the allies I've played for the first time. But I gotta keep this intro short. I can't waste words. For Ben Moore is special. He gets not one, but 2 reviews.
Okay.
Both games he reviewed revolving around the theme 11.
Dragon Quest 11.
And? 11.
11. I don't know.
It's a series you might love more than Dragon Quest.
Brandon, that could be anything.
Oh, just go through them, baby. Your favorite series of all time.
My favorite series of all time?
Dating back to the NES, baby.
Zelda? Final Fantasy?
I've seen you stream this so many times. The games from this series.
Monster Hunter?
No.
I don't know, Brandon. Street Fighter?
Same company, though. Same company as Monster Hunter.
Mega Man! There we go!
Mega Man 11. Mega Man is a series I love dearly, and I was beyond joyous when I heard the news about Mega Man 11. And now that it's out, I can say confidently that it is my new favorite game in the classic series. Ben, I'm not gonna make time for it. I just know it. But
oh man, that's a shame.
I know. I'm tempted.
It really doesn't take that long, and it's fantastic.
All the easy dumb item purchasing stuff. I was like, oh, they're speaking to me. You're like, you can really just get money and be overpowered, and it's like, ooh.
I don't think it's the best game in the classic series. But man, it's pretty damn good.
The running, jumping, and shooting is all standard affair. There's not much to say on that front, but the new gear system was a genius addition.
Yeah.
I was impressed by how the stages were really designed around them. I require them to be a standard for the series going forward. If there are complaints I have, it's these 2. For one, I'm a little bummed that there aren't any secrets to find in the various stages. Careful observation rewarded you with an energy tank, but I felt like I was missing something playing every level. If only there were cool Mega Man 7 or 8 secrets to find. And my second criticism being the Wily Castle in this game was a little underwhelming. You said that in the reviews.
Yeah, the Wily, it's a big kind of, not a sour note, but just really a flat note. Like, the Wily Castle is so standard that you're kind of bummed because they do have so many crazy ideas in there that, Wily Castle just is kind of whatever.
The first 2 stages were very fun and challenging, but the final 2 were barely an ordeal. But everything else really clicked with me. Welcome back, Your Majesty. May you live in this new golden era. Dragon Quest XI. After finishing this game, I went back to watch the review posted by Easy Allies. After giving it a full watch, I must say, Ben, I'm a little disappointed.
Okay.
I'm not trying to get hung up on scores, but really? A 9? That's too low.
Okay.
Dragon obviously you don't agree. Dragon Quest XI is not my only, like I said, showcase, man. People just, they bring out the claws. Dragon Quest XI is not only my favorite game in the series, not only one of my favorite RPGs of all time, but one of my favorite video games ever made. Mm-hmm. The battle system was easy to learn, easy to overcome, but entertaining every clash of the way. I love all the characters. Sylvando is the best boy. Every town's distinct flair and NPC dialect made me feel like I was globetrotting. The story was standard, but that's not a bad thing at all. It just made the journey easy to pick up and jolly the whole way through. Well, most of the time anyway. And without spoiling the ending, holy crap, I did not know such series-wide emotional payoffs were possible in a video game. And there isn't any complaints I got hung up on. The post-game can feel a bit too grindy, and I wish the music wasn't MIDI instrumentation, but those are only minor blemishes on this otherwise flawless gem. So happy to hang its platinum trophy on my PSN shelf. Thanks for all you do, allies. Love and respect, Chris the Fields.
Nice.
Yeah. I actually... Can I say what I would have scored the game?
Sure.
Is that relevant?
Okay.
It's relevant. I was thinking like an 8.5. An 8, or if I would have reviewed it, I probably would have given it an 8.5.
Sure.
Which, man, the Fields would have been letting me have it there.
Yeah.
And I think that's because I think there's a difference, like a barrier for me. There's a difference between appreciating a story and understanding a story and being into the story and being affected by the story.
Yeah.
And I think there were very few instances where I actually crossed that threshold into the game. I think like when you start to meet, no spoilers, when you start to meet characters that have a little more connection to you, I was like, here we go. Okay. Now I'm starting to have some relevance with party members and starting to understand the lore and kind of my place in it. But having your character not talk like ever was just it was just weird. It was I compared to like Witcher, Red Dead, Persona, there are just other games where it's like, I love these people. I'm so involved in the story emotionally, moment to moment. And with Dragon Quest, the story, I was like, I love this. I'm really, really enjoying this, but it just doesn't. It's like I'm lacking that extra step to actually moment to moment, like being super into it. And that might just be the stylization of it. But I just remember the first time I went running across a field and like ran into a bad guy and like did that battle and then was running towards the next bad guy. I was like, I could get used to this. This pace, I'm all about this. I love how small the environments are, but how big they feel. Mm-hmm. Because like you don't get a sense, like you don't see a new environment and go, oh, I got to search every nook and cranny of this. It's like, all right, I'm going to do all the borders, run to a couple enemies, get all the items, gone.
I get so annoyed when people make criticisms and you look at it and you play it and you're like, I feel like they're just assuming this, where like, yes, Dragon Quest XI is super long, but unlike Persona 5, where I did see a lot of complaints about the pacing, I didn't with Dragon Quest XI because it actually does very, very small things, and a bunch of them add up to this, despite it being, dozens and dozens of hours to get through. It's a smooth process pretty much the entire way. And that's something like, people always rail on how Dragon Quest needs to evolve or it's not moving ahead, and it's like it's doing this than more like overtly bold games. Like in some ways it feels ahead of the curve and is making a super smooth experience for a JRPG, which I like. One
of the other things too is this year, given like how crazy RPGs are, like I'm excited for Cyberpunk based on the pedigree of Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk isn't necessarily like my genre, so I'm not like stoked I can't wait to be like a techno gangster, like I don't really, I'm kind of more like the Western like action-y vibe, but I'm still like so excited about that game just to play it based on the excellence that I know it's going to be from CD Projekt Red.
Yeah.
But as far as like the expansive RPG games and even stuff like Assassin's Creed, which is getting way more RPG heavy, I need Octopath Traveler. I need Dragon Quest XI. I need there to be some companies that are still doing this.
Right.
Are still like, for its flaws, I need a Lost Sphere. I need those games that are just like, you just meet new people. You just go take your turns, do your spells. You just kind of run up to enemies, and like when you beat them, you get experience. Everyone gets experience, even if they're not in your party. You just have fun. Like, yes.
Like Dragon Quest XI is kind of like a best case scenario where it gives you the feelings of those childhood RPGs, but it doesn't feel old.
Yeah.
And I feel like that can be not the case, where it's like, you're not really, you're trying to emulate something so hard that you end up kind of becoming nothing. Also, a comment on review scores. I love talking about review scores. I do. That sounds facetious, but I really do. But like the way to get me to engage is not like, I would have given it this.
Yeah.
Here's my experience. It's like, you gave it this. Here's what in your analysis I think was missing.
Sure.
Because otherwise, it's just like, I just feel differently than you, which isn't necessarily.
I thought it was a little a 9. I mean, look at the tech. A 9.0 ... That's too low. Like that seems playful to me.
Oh, it's playful. It's fun. And I think he gave a good critique of it.
One recent criticism that I got, somebody on Twitter, they were a little harsh about it, but somebody on Twitter was like, I don't think you talked about the combat enough in Spider-Man.
Sure.
And I reviewed it, and I was like, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. I should have talked about that more. Yeah. And so I kept that in mind in Red Dead.
That happens all the time.
I'm just not a big gameplay, because I think like the fact that you're way more into like Bayonetta, Devil May Cry, fighting games, and I'm kind of more into like, slower like adventure gamey, story focused stuff. Yeah. Not that we're not both into those things, but it's just like kind of like what we gravitate toward. You're thinking about gameplay a lot more, and I'm not. So like a lot of people tell me, they're like, oh, the shooting in Red Dead and GTA is clearly terrible, and I'm like, I guess, I don't know. Like, I guess the more I think about it, I can think about where you're coming from, but I just don't feel that way, and maybe my expectations in that regard are not as high as yours.
It's one of the huge privileges of having, thousands of people watch our stuff, because you realize very quickly, it's like, oh man, like this is just one limited perspective on this. People are appreciating this game in a way that I would never even think of. And so, yeah, I've had many people be like, hey, you didn't talk about this, or this was not a good explanation of this one aspect. And it's like, you're right. And it really does help you kind of go into the next review and being like, okay, I'm going to try to, broaden my horizons a little bit. So I like that a lot.
Pokey Clyde, Black Friday is a beautiful thing. When September came around, I had the hard decision of getting Spider-Man or Dragon Quest XI. I chose Spider-Man, obvious game of the year, but thanks to Black Friday, I not only got Dragon Quest, I love just the aside. I mean, it's game of the year, obviously.
Just saying.
I not only got Dragon Quest XI, but I also decided to stack another 100 hours of JRPG onto my life with Persona 5. I still have to finish Red Dead Redemption 2, so it's going to be a while until I get to these great games, but boy, what a feeling.
Yeah.
To just have that goodness, just rolling out, waiting in front of you.
Good stuff.
One of the personal comments I got on Cup of Jones that I didn't answer today is like, do you get stressed when there's too many games? It's like, yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Time to play things.
I've been less stressed about it now.
Just a bit.
It used to really bother me, like so bad that I would be paralyzed by indecision. But I don't know. I think I have more confidence that I'll get to those things now. And so that's comforting.
I'm getting better at knowing what I will and will not get. Mega Man's a good example. I want it, but I think I am at the point where in 2019 I will see the credits of my first Yakuza game. I think I can get there.
Yeah, I respect that, Brandon. I think the only thing I'm disappointed about with some games, I think like Guacamelee 2 is a good example where it's like, this probably like deserves more representation at Game of the Year. Like Mega Man 11 is good enough that it probably deserves more representation at Game of the Year. So like personally for Brandon Jones, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense that you're not going to get to Mega Man 11. But for like Easy Allies as an outlet saying we should recognize these games, it just gets a little bit depressing, I think.
And that's the time. The Return of Obra Dinn is one of those games.
Yes.
It's like, I should play it, but I probably won't. Like,
that is high on there for me.
I just kept hearing about it and I was like, this game's really interesting. Let me see what this game looks like. Oh my God. It was like, that's my jam. Again, the Gothic. I'm like,
Do you ever get confused like how those things happen? Where you see something and you're like, yes, this is perfect. This seems amazing for me. I want to get to it. And then you just don't. And it just feels like there's this weird magical barrier.
Too many creative people.
Yeah.
Too much stuff. DMC Master. Hello, allies. Long time, no comment. After finally adjusting to a new job and new hours, I decided, after some thinking, to get an Xbox One S and a year of Game Pass. In doing so, I'm finally getting a chance to try some games, to give some games a shot that I've had my eye on for a while. Finally getting a chance to play Halo-related past the first game, giving Gears of War an actual chance, and not the 15 to 20 hour spurts I'd given games in the past. But the one game so far... 15
to 20 hours is a spurt for you?
Yeah.
That's a good spurt.
It's a good spurt. This is a game I almost feel... That's a Darksiders 3 right there. While the gun... one game so far that has really, really sunk its fangs into me is Sunset Overdrive.
Nice. PC release.
This is a game I almost feel I need to kick myself for not playing sooner. While the gunplay is basic, the traversal, the soundtrack, and over-the-top presentation all combine into this near constant feeling of just 5 more minutes. And honestly, I wish Spider-Man had taken a few notes from Overdrive's presentation. Speaking of which, Spider-Man is probably without a doubt my favorite game released this year, ahead of even the mighty God of War, although Red Dead Redemption 2 makes a really, really strong contender. Honestly, I'm kind of going back and forth between the two when trying to pick a Game of the Year contender. However, with this airing just before the TGAs, I'm going to take my usual stab at predicting stuff, starting with Avengers game update with Avengers 4 trailer, Harry Potter RPG officially announced, Red Dead Redemption 2 somehow winning Best Esports Game and Best Family Game despite not being nominated for either category. Gameplay reveal of 5, along with confirming DMC 5, along with confirming Virgil and Sparta in the game. Beyond Good and Evil 2 trailer, Psychonauts 2 update, summer release window, Bayonetta 3 will have some collaboration with Lady Gaga. Also, first trailer, Metroid Prime 4 first trailer.
That is believable. We live in a world where that is believable.
Wouldn't that be great?
That there will be a Bayonetta 3
If
Lady
Nintendo's
Gaga.
smart, they were like, get her on the phone.
Yeah.
Metroid Prime 4 first trailer shows off at least one new suit design and new ability. Death Stranding release date announced. Probably has a trailer that leaves everyone saying, what the fuck did I just watch? Borderlands 3 being the worst kept secret and possibly leaked between the time of me posting this and you reading it on stream, Brandon. At least one game announcement that leaves people more confused than excited, except that one guy who really wanted an Awesome Possum reboot.
That was cute. That was a playful
My
entry.
predictions? Just based on what I've just the flavor that I've been seeing, a lot of people are like, yeah, look out, Red Dead's gonna sweep. I think it's gonna be an upset. I think Red Dead's not gonna win a lot. That's my call. I think it might win Best Narrative. I think that's probably at the best shot. I don't think it's gonna win GOTY. I don't think it's gonna win Game of the Year. I don't I could even see Assassin's Creed upsetting it for action adventure. I don't know. We'll see. I'm keeping my expectations low. I'm not going into the Game Awards being like, come on, Red Dead. It's like, all right, I'll just, I enjoyed the game. That's good enough.
I think Spider-Man, God of War, and Red Dead Redemption all have a shot.
Definitely. Performance is going to be really interesting. I think that's kind of an even split. Those were all very good. Small Leviathan. Hello, Brandon, and hello, Ben. As a child, I would have frequent sleepovers at my godfather's place, a cozy cabin-like house out in the woods, which smelled of pine, oil paint, and scented candles.
This is awesome.
My godfather, a short man with a gentle soul and a love for nature, owned a Super Nintendo. I love this man already. A curious little machine to me, as someone who was born during the time in which the Nintendo 64 was looming on the horizon, and who was first and foremost used to PC gaming at the time. They had a slew of classic games, such as Mortal Kombat, which I wasn't allowed to play, and A Link Between Worlds, not a Link to the Past, which just didn't grab me at the time, and honestly still fails to do so, amongst others. But there was one game. Okay, it's fine. It's all right.
Kyle has infected people.
I know,
think,
the tendrils are seeping
with things that don't
industry.
make sense.
But there was one game in particular that I found absolutely amazing. The third game in a venerated trilogy. This game pulled me in with its level of visual fidelity, which was unlike anything I had seen before, as well as a unique ambient soundtrack that was chilling as it was soothing. Of course, with my lacking game literacy and the limited time window, I never did get far into this game, so it remained elusive to me until one day, the older of my godfather's two kids, who at the time were young adults, decided to show me the end game, including the game's final boss, something I could never imagine reaching on my own at the time. It's been more than 10 years since then, and I've since purchased and beaten that game in my own time, but all the same, it holds a very special place in my heart because of the time and the people it reminds me of. This is why the biggest highlight of all the things added in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which I'm going to bed early to pick up at the store as the store opens tomorrow, is none other than that oh-so-nostalgic game's final boss, King K. Rool. Nostalgic tirade aside, this November, I got to pick up something I had to wait for a long time, Monster Hunter World. I refused to pick up a PS4 version on principle, not wanting to deal with paid online when the hindrance of 30 FPS, but when the PC port came along, I was really in a bad place financially, so I had to wait. I don't think I have a lot to add to the conversation around this game as a whole, but it is the best Monster Hunter has ever felt to play, in my experience. Finishing off this month's submission, I want to recommend a game to Ben, because I recall another ally saying Ben is always willing to try something new, and I'm always really ready to shill for my all-time favorite game, One Shot.
I've never heard of One Shot.
To keep it short, One Shot is an adventure puzzle game about helping a child carry the sun, a giant light bulb, to the center of a foreign world, and it is spectacular. Love and respect, Small Leviathan. P.S. Also, you should totally play the Octo expansion as well, Ben. It is way better than you think it is.
That I will do. That's a promise. I'll play the Octo expansion.
The Octo expansion's pretty good.
Yeah, I will. Well, I mean, I haven't gone through the story mode in the Octo expansion yet.
And I remember Small Leviathan mentioning One Shot.
What is One Shot?
Dude, I love...
That sounds awesome.
One of the things that's
What's it on?
PC probably. One of the things that... one of my favorite things about Showcase is that at least once every showcase, somebody brings up a game and you're like, what? Huh? Never heard of that.
Yeah, if you come to me, I will check out any game, but the right way to do it, in my opinion, is if you come to me with a game and you're like, I really love this. This has given me so much. I am super on board. I will put that on the list, like Santa Claus. If you come and you're like really bitter and angry about it, not on the list. Not on the list.
You're just not sure. Yeah. Like it. Gotta be confident. Caesar Villa, hello Ben and Brandon. First, a disclaimer, December is a month, damn it. It is 31 days. It is 4.5 weeks. I refuse to talk about Game of the Year until the year is actually done. We agree. So
okay.
we do our goatees in January.
Yeah.
Took that out of my system.
Mid-January.
Now, on with the show. Last time, depending on the studio, late January.
Next year!
Yeah, we're going to do goatees in the backyard. Last time, okay. On with the show. Last time Ben was there, I told you what I did in New Year's Eve 2008. Can you guess what I did New Year's Day? Of course you can't. That was so unfair. I'm sorry. I just wanted a little giggle at your expense. New Year's Eve 2008, I beat Final Fantasy IV.
Nice.
Remember
Great
the
game.
Palom and Porum story? I do. Mm-hmm. So the next day I got started with Final Fantasy VI. I had played the game around 1998 when I was 16 years old. This may be upsetting for you, Jones. I didn't feel it. I borrowed it from a friend from high school, got to the end of the world by just going through the motions and returned it without beating it. I enjoyed the soundtrack, but not much else. I specifically remember thinking a plot point, what's with all this drama? This is just a video game. Fast forward to 2008. After drinking the Kool-Aid that was the GT Retro in the franchise and decided to give it a shot, I gotta tell you, I think I needed to grow up a little bit to fully get ahead of the curve. This game really was. Just having the credits roll while you watch Terra, Biggs, and Wedge walk to Narsh while playing the main theme is something that was not common at the time. Since I don't think I can say much more that hasn't been said both in the retro and the video you, Brandon, produced for the Hall of Greats, I'll go on a tangent now. This last November, a friend from work took a trip to Japan, and in his return, he brought a precious gift for me, the Final Fantasy VI OST.
Nice.
Poor CD player hadn't been used in over a year, but listening to those tunes, I got to relive all those moments, like going underground in Figaro, taking a hike through the Phantom Forest, witnessing Sabin choose his freedom after Edgar tricked him with his rigged coin, search for friends with Celas, and finally beat Kefka in one epic, decisive battle. At this point, it should be no secret I love video game soundtracks. Hint, I've been asking for your game score recommendations for this past year in the Q&As. So I'll end up by thanking God for Nobuo Uematsu and his work. Yep. Few composers, dead or alive, are up to his abilities. Love and respect, Caesar. I think every time he asks that and we go to a new console, it's like, what Nobuo Uematsu do we have here?
Yeah.
You know, even like GameCube's like, well, Crystal Chronicles, you got to get that on there. I don't remember her name. Yumi Tanioka? Is that a director?
I'm not sure.
I think it might be Yumi Tanioka. If it is, awesome pull.
Uematsu is what made me care about music in video games.
Yeah.
Straight up.
But the that was definitely like the highlight of doing that retrospective, was just like picking the track to play at the beginning. And, and I specifically didn't want to do the main theme, the crystal, the doom 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 doom. I can't remember what that's called.
The prelude?
The prelude. You don't hear the prelude at all through the entire retrospective until the end credits of the final episode. And that was like intentional.
I think Dancing Mad is one of the most impressive video game compositions ever. Like,
I have the original Final Fantasy VI soundtrack, a piano version of the Final Fantasy VI soundtrack, an orchestral version of the Final Fantasy VI soundtrack.
Have you listened to the Black Mages?
Oh yeah,
the Black Mages are so good.
All three of those albums, and
that was like one of my most.
Of well.
Black Mages 1 and 2 is like probably among my most played albums of all time.
It just looks like fun. You just see these guys in concert, and it's like they're only doing this because it's fun.
When they add,
reason they're all on stage right now.
I will say when they add vocals, it can be a little awkward sometimes, but other than that, it shreds. It's great.
It's cool because it's cool to see them metal out on a track that's not metal,
right? And
it makes you wonder, even when Uematsu is writing non-metal, if he's thinking it's metal.
Yeah.
You know? If he's writing some town theme being like...
They're metal versions of the songs, but they still feel very true. It's not like, this is kind of ruining the vibe of what was originally there. It only enhances.
B&M, the orchestra and Metallica... Wait, no.
S&M.
S&M.
Yeah.
Symphony of Metallica?
Yeah.
I listen to that so much. And I know it's... A lot of people... I remember talking to a friend and being like, some of these versions are my favorite. And they were like... The originals, man. Get out of here with your S&M nonsense. I was like, it's so good though, man. Fuel?
Yeah.
Fuel on S&M?
Fuel is great. I mean, Fuel is an incredible song on its own, but the S&M version is great. Outlaw Torn is very good, S&M. Yeah.
Not to go back. Sorry, too.
No Leaf Clover, Mine's Human. There's some good stuff
Guyan.
on S&M. I haven't listened to S&M in forever. I think I'm going to do that.
I know. Today's the day to do it. Alan George Guyan. Hello, Brandon and Ben. I finally decided to support you on Patreon. Just before the second anniversary, having been a fan of game trailers and the work you did as Easy Allies for the past 2 years. Many years, I used to watch content on game trailers, and the videos I enjoyed the most were the retrospectives. They were very well made and clearly explained many great details from great video game series. Of course, the videos were narrated wonderfully by Brandon Jones, thank you, and it wasn't until 2013 that I finally saw what Brandon looked like, having only heard his voice on many videos. I believe the video was on E3 Mysteries just before E3 2013. Oh yes, missed E3s. As of 2013, I was really enjoying the new content and people being involved with game trailers. I was saddened by game trailers closing down in 2016, but was surprised a month later when Easy Allies formed. This year, I think you guys have done amazing work, such as the second concert and the many great Twitch streams you have had, such as the E3 funding streams, which I gladly donated to. Thank you again. However, watching the streams isn't always easy when you're live in Scotland. I think this has been a great year for video games. I really enjoyed God of War, Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2, and they lived up to my expectations. There's some high expectations. It's like, yeah, they met it. We're there. We reached expectation level. E3
those are my
2018 was great as well, with the reveals of Devil May Cry 5 and Resident Evil 2 being the best parts. I really like what Capcom has done with the remake, and I'm looking forward to playing it next month. Also, seeing Huber react to the reveal was great, as I know he had been wanting to see the game for so long. As we are now in December, I wanted to finally post this comment. I just want to express how amazing your work has been this year, and I can't wait to see what you do next year. Also, as Ben is there, I just wanted to say how happy I am about the types of games he talks about, and the amazing video on demos he made, and of course, Frame Trap. Sorry for the long post, and happy holidays and New Year to all the allies. Love and respect from Aberdeen, Scotland. Alan Guyan pronounced as saying the word Guy, then Anne, like the name Anne, Guyan.
Thank you, Alan. That was a wonderful message.
Yeah. That RE2's reaction was hype because our stream got bumped. When we were watching the Sony press conference, it froze for a little bit. And so we were like 2 minutes behind.
Yeah.
And so the moment that I was like, oh, it's RE2, I was like, whoop, and brought out my phone and brought up the app on Twitch and like turned up the volume. And I was like, yes, I get to see that. Like, I was like going back in time and I got to see the live moment where Huber was like, what? You know,
I've never had any friend or met any person that can alter reality like Huber. Where like I've known plenty of people who have been very passionate and excited about games, but like Resident Evil 2 Remake is Huber's game. It belongs to him. Yeah. No one else has it. And that's amazing. He like willed that into existence. Shenmue 3 is Huber. I think he works on that development team. It's crazy.
What a reveal.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be funny if we learned down the road. But it was fun being a fan, being on the outside and experiencing that joy, not being on the set and just being like, Huber's going to freak out.
Yeah.
And kudos to the whole panel. We did really great during E3. It's cool to look back at those reactions. We called Control right away, that it was a Remedy game.
Yeah.
Huber called RE2 way before I thought he would. And a lot of those... just a lot of those games we knew, like, going into it. Damiani called Star Fox the second he heard that theme. Like,
we have a pretty good track record of calling things early like that.
I'm happy about that.
During press conferences. Very specific category.
Onimusha Remaster belongs to Huber.
Yeah.
Bite-sized manga. Greetings, allies. This month, I was going to go all in on my 2008 manga impressions with a full-blown awards list, but no matter how many rewrites I did, I was never happy with the finished product. So please be excited for that in January's Community Showcase submission. Haha. The manga list, you missed it by a month. I believe Huber will be joining us in January, so Huber will appreciate that as well.
Nice.
Instead, I'm going to give a quick impression of some of the games I've been playing of late. So without further ado, 4 hours into Hollow Knight, and there is not going to be another 4. I had a feeling the Hollow Knight wasn't going to be for me going in, but with it on sale for a good price, and with money to burn, I said balls to it and picked it up anyway, and I wish I hadn't. It's okay.
I totally respect anyone saying like, hey, this isn't for me. I just sometimes don't understand. I don't mean that as an insult. I just get confused.
I was in love with the look and feel of this world, but I can't see myself putting in the time needed for the game to grab me, and Metroidvania isn't really my cup of tea.
There you go.
So back into the bottom of the backlog it goes, more likely to never be played again. I mean, isn't it kind of befitting of Hollow Knight? It's just like, I cast you out into the darkness.
Yeah,
sure. It's like, yep, it's within the theme. Made it to the final boss of Undertale. That is on my backlog. That's an RPG I need to play.
You need to play Deltarune this year,
and
Brandon.
I know. And I have no drive to finish the game. And I feel that I have wasted what little time I have spent with the game, so I'm dropping it from my backlog altogether. Don't at me. It took a few sessions for Night in the Woods to sink its teeth into me, but nevertheless, it left its mark on me like few games have this year. Cool. Every time May and her mom had their morning conversation in the kitchen, I'd find myself becoming more and more invested in her life. As the hours passed by, I knew this game was something special. There we go. We found it. We landed on something that resonated. Finally got around to attacking the Muramasa Rebirths DLC. And I have to say this is quickly becoming my new favorite Vanillaware title, fighting Dragon's Crown for the #1 spot. The new combat style and characters really helped me stay invested after using the three-sword style throughout the campaign. This is truly a must-buy for all Vita owners, and I'd love to see it get the pro treatment than Dragon's Crown did. With Ben on the couch this month, I feel compelled to give my first impressions on Trials of Cold Steel 1.
Trails of Cold Steel.
Trails. I'm only a little over 40 hours into this game so far, and just finishing off Chapter 5, but the story is just starting to get into the swing of things. But the quartz and the combat as a whole is what has kept me with the game so far. With the cast of characters and the ability to hold multiple story threads at the same time is where Cold Steel has really pulled me in, and I look forward to seeing how 2 continues the threads.
Nice.
Those are just a few of the games I've been spending my time with whilst I have been there. One question, did you ever get around to playing 4 Goddesses online?
No, I didn't. Hyperdimension and Neptunia is a series. There's two. Well, there's more than that, but the two that immediately come to mind of series that like I am intensely interested in, but haven't really been able to completely punch through. Besides messing around with a little bit, are Hyperdimension Neptunia. That's been on my backlog for years and years and years, and Atelier. The Atelier series I'd like to get into at some point. But, we got into Suikoden this year.
Yeah.
And so I think if we can get through,
nice.
one series, one giant RPG, I mean, obviously they didn't play every game in the series, but get into a series like that every year will be good.
They're all on Steam, apparently.
Yeah. No, I have many Atelier games. I just need to play them.
To go.
Yeah.
Nice. Halfway there. Jordan Kirk. Hey, Jones. Hey, Ben and chat. Since it released 20 years ago, Ocarina of Time had housed one of my favorite iterations of a pastime. Not ghost or spider hunting, fishing. The calm Kakariko theme, the exhilarating rush of the controller vibration as you reel in your catch, and the dopamine seeing a fish as large as Link. That being said, I've got something to say. Ocarina of Time, you have been dethroned. Red Dead Redemption 2 officially has my favorite video game fishing. The one mistake, I've heard one bad thing about Red Dead Redemption 2 fishing that I was like, oh yeah, I didn't play the game that way, but it makes sense. Friend of mine hit chapter 2 and stopped doing everything in the story and then just ran around and was like, why can't I fish? And was like, all right, and then we just went back to the story and then did a mission where you're given the fishing pole. And he's just like, oh, I'll take out my fishing pole. And he's like, I was in my pocket the whole time. Come on. And you're like, yeah, okay. Like, I can see them rolling that out, expecting you to go through the story enough, to get to that point. But it is locked behind a story mission.
I don't love the fishing in Red Dead. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I like I like that you can do it so many places. I like that you can eagle eye fish. So you can actually slow the game down and look at what fish are in there. So if you're fishing for a legendary fish, it's not just like a random luck roll. Like you can see it. You can be like, oh, it's right there. Like let me see if I can angle it over there to catch it. And a good way to make money in Red Dead Online, by the way, because you can carry a lot of them with you other than pelts and animal carcasses. Encountering the vibration and dopamine for the first time in a world with such a verisimilitude, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, has been an absolute joy. My initial encounter, I spent 3 in-game days at one location, cycling between filling up my inventory with all the fish I could carry, then setting up camp and cooking them, repeating until nightfall, sleeping, and repeating again. At this point, I've sunk nearly 40 hours into the game, and I'm not even halfway through the story. It is a beautiful thing. At the beginning of the month, I managed to bin through Castlevania Season 2 on Netflix. It is an improvement in many ways on Season 1, and that's high praise, since Season 1 itself was amazing. Season 2 and Castlevania Requiem were just the right pressure I needed to finally try one of the greats. After 21 years, I finally played through Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Dude, I'm tempted to play through that game for the 10th time.
Brendan,
now that it's on PS4.
That Symphony of the Night is a perfect game. It's pretty much a perfect game.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Symphony of the Night reminds me of Resident Evil 4 in that once you start, it's hard to stop.
Exactly.
I'm nervous every time. And we've started Symphony of the Night 8 times on streams here at Easy Allies. And every single time, it's like, God, I could just go through. And possibly, this would be a really wacky countdown. Maybe we could do this for a podcast someday. But maybe one of the most satisfying level up anythings in video, just the freeze,
the wavy
just that
level
moment
up,
the second it freezes, you're like, oh yeah, oh, it's so good.
I just want to comment really quick on Castlevania Season 2, something that I didn't know I needed in life, the portrayal, the lines, the writing for Trevor and Alucard specifically, seeing them throw shade at each other is honestly a 2018 moment for me. It's
Netflix
so good.
did a montage on Twitter of just those moments.
Oh, it's
that was
so
really
good.
Really, really satisfying to go through all of that. And it doesn't take long. And not via Requiem, but a copy I've had for quite some time on the Xbox 360 arcade. I ultimately came away a little disappointed, only because I had such a high bar. It was a little easy for me, sneaking up on borderline boredom. It is super easy.
It is super easy.
Yeah. That's one of the negative points of Symphony for sure. To the point that bosses would go down in a matter of seconds. That being said, a handful of moments, like the first hour post-inverted castle and every musical track's introduction, have me able to appreciate and respect that this game is indeed one of the greats. Spyro Reignited Trilogy is next on my list, and boy, has it been a jolly good time. I've been a fan of the trilogy since release. In fact, my first community showcase topic was completing the first 2 games around the time of Crash and Sane Trilogy, in hopes that Spyro is next. Again, I've completed the first 2 in all their beautiful HD glory, thus bringing my platinum trophy count to 5. Speaking of jolly good times, I've made a bit more progress in Dragon Quest XI. The story continues to hit the right beats, as it just incorporated one of my favorite sci-fi topics into it in Act 3. At around the 130-hour mark, Draconian Hard Mode is indeed hard, I'm still having a phenomenal time. When I went out into the overworld and a theme I hadn't heard since Dragon Warrior 3 started playing, you better believe I had a huge grin. That's all I've got for this month. Hope to watch the Game Awards with y'all.
Wait,
happy holidays.
Did he finish Dragon Quest XI?
No.
Okay. Well,
made a bit more progress.
I think there will be something that will hit him particularly hard once he does finish it. Yeah.
Good. XWF Outlaw, and just props for jumping into an RPG and playing the hardest mode for the first time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Good stuff.
That's Huber style. I have never done that. Every single game in my life I've ever played, it's always normal. Every time. Yeah.
Never done hard? Just for the hell of it?
No, the first try?
Yeah.
Maybe a second playthrough, maybe New Game Plus or something, but
Gotcha.
Never the first time. XWF Outlaw. Good afternoon, Jones, Ben, and chat. Can anyone tell me a week where we've had more kinds of hype for our medium ever? The Game Awards, new Avengers trailer, Kinda Funny Live, Fortnite Season 7, Super Smash Brothers, multiple new game announcements, and a new studio for Easy A. I'm glad that got mentioned. I got it. The Easiest studio was mentioned.
A hype time for us, at least, for sure.
I'll wait. After last month's completion of Kingdom Hearts 1.5, I started the game that has halted my attempts to complete this series twice. The game I have been dreading on returning to before Kingdom Hearts 3, it was Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories. Man, that combat mechanic is super frustrating. Long story short, picked Olympus Coliseum, hit Hades, then hit a wall. I don't know what other to say then. In order for me to finish the game, I'm going to need the strength that wielded Ben to somehow complete Fallout 76 kind of strength. This past month also saw Black Friday expand my backlog once again. Essentially, I got a Ben Moore gift basket. Persona 5, Neo, Wolfenstein 2, and Sekiro pre-order, plus Kubo and the 2 strings on Blu-ray. As I type this month's community showcase comment, I'm sitting in a rental house in Orlando, starting a week-long vacation at the most magical place on earth, trademark. In the past, I've always submitted comments in the showcase, but next month I will be in the photo segment for the first time. In closing, I would like to add another congratulatory log on the Love and Respect Fire to congratulate you all on your new studio acquisition. This was a long-needed and much-deserved gift from all of us who give you money to make things to show our eyeballs monthly. 2019 will most certainly be a happy new year. Congrats, allies, and happy holidays. You earned it. Cheers. Thank you, XWF. Happy that you are there. Looking forward to seeing those pictures. I have played Chain of Memories. It's one of the few, one of the only 2 Kingdom Hearts games I've played to completion. That
Brandon,
Kingdom Hearts 2.
That's bizarre. I mean, that's cool.
It was for the retro.
Okay, gotcha.
And some people were like, ooh, can I play Kingdom Hearts for the retro? And I was like, sure.
Gotcha.
And nobody was like, ooh, can I play Chain of Memories? Because that was before the remake, so that was Game Boy Advance that I played that on. And yeah, get a kick out of it. That was
cool. I just want to say I recognize some of these names. XWF Outlaw, excuse me. Always a good attitude. Just a jolly dude, and I appreciate that. So thank you.
And I didn't want to bring it up. I didn't want to bring things down. But XWF brought it up, and as long as you're here on the desk, I just want to say thank you for finishing and reviewing Fallout 76.
Yeah. It's so weird, because like some people are like, oh man, thanks for doing that, man. Like I'd come back for more.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. They're being super nice, but it's like, no, like my job is to review games. Sometimes they'll be super bad. It's okay.
But I love how today you were talking about Smash in terms of like, like the feelings are back.
Right.
the happiness.
It did feel like that though, where there would be things that happened in Fallout 76. And I was like, really? Whereas Smash is just kind of Smash Ultimate has made me feel like a kid in a way that I did not think possible anymore. I don't have a cold heart. I have a super warm heart. It's on fire right now because of Smash Ultimate.
I like it because I don't like to dig on games. There were even some stuff we did in Fantasy 15 that I'm like, I feel bad like scoring this game after just playing it for 15 minutes. I really want to communicate things. If there's an issue with the game, I want to talk about it, and I'm not afraid to give bad scores or say bad things about games, but I want to do it in a productive sense. I always hope that a developer is listening and we can encourage them or somehow help them to improve their games or work on things better in the future. And so getting that script for Fallout 76 and reading that, I just remember getting through the last paragraph and being like, yeah, it feels good. I'm glad this opinion exists from Easy Allies about this game. So yeah, from me, thank you for wrapping that up.
Cool.
Kyle Lee. Hey there, Jones and Ben. What a month. First off, congratulations on getting a studio. I was crying with pride and joy for you guys. Hard to believe how far y'all have come since that dark day when GT shut down. I can't wait to see what you do from here. Now, onto the games first. First, unsurprisingly, I was consumed by Red Dead 2 this past month. Arthur Morgan is easily one of my new favorite protagonists, and his story is one of the most interesting and layered I've ever found in a video game. Layered is a great term.
It is. I really, truly, in my heart of hearts, think I don't know who it is, I'm sorry. The voice actor for Arthur Morgan gives one of the best video game performances I've ever heard. Like, layered is the perfect word to describe it. Yeah.
And that was a full-time job for weeks.
Yeah.
Weeks and months of that guy's life. Still keeping it spoiler-free because I would never want to rob someone of experience the story with fresh eyes. All I'll say is if you're feeling like it's dragging a bit, keep pushing.
Yeah,
you'll get to a point where you won't want to put it down until the credits roll. However, and Jones, I'm sorry for this, the amount of time I spent fighting with the controls to do something simple takes it out of my GOTY contention. That's fair. The story is exceptional, but when you compare it to the ease of the things you can do in Spider-Man, it can't compare on that aspect. With that said, where's my Sadie DLC? Once I wrapped up Red Dead Redemption 2, I picked Pokemon Sun back up. After a few more hours of grinding, I took on the Elite Four and was successful. My team was Incineroar, named Becky after Becky Lynch, my favorite wrestler, Alakazam, named Cross.
Alakazam hype.
Solgaleo, named Jericho. Raichu,
OP.
named Mort. Tentacruel, named John Tenta. And Charizard, no nickname since I got him in a trade. Once that was done, I needed something new. I played around in Bit Trip Runner, but I'm very bad at it.
It's hard.
Picked up Mortal Kombat XL on sale and devoured the story mode. I really loved all the characters, new air characters they added, with Cassie Cage standing out as my favorite. And that brings us to today. I'm finally crossing off a big one from my backlog, hailing from the long time ago that was 2017. Right now, I'm close to halfway done with Horizon Zero Dawn, and wow, I am in love with this game. The story has me hooked, it's an absolute blast to play, and Aloy is such a wonderful character. Every time I learn something new or find another clue about the past, I get reeled in more. Each encounter with the machines feels intense, as I continuously come back to a quote from early on. It's one thing to hunt a beast, it's another thing to hunt a machine. Every single machine you encounter will teach you to respect them and their power. I didn't think anything would make me reconsider my 2017 GOTY for Persona 5, but Horizon is giving me second thoughts.
Nice.
I'll be continuing to go through Horizon for this month, with Smash Ultimate providing a bit of variety once that comes out. Love and respect, Kyle Goldilocks Lee. I've been thinking about Horizon a lot.
I think about Horizon often.
We got a screenshot from Horizon coming up, because there's like a lot of gorgeous open world games this year.
Yeah.
A lot of people sharing vistas of Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Red Dead Redemption 2 and Spider-Man. A lot of photo modes are just lighting up those games. And it's easy to forget Horizon this gen. And like, some,
But I haven't.
Yeah.
Like, I was so down on that game before release. Unfairly down on that game.
We all were. I mean, I was trying to support it, but even I was like, yeah, I don't know.
When they announced the inevitable whatever is coming after Horizon, I will be so genuinely enthused, because that game impressed me in ways I did not think it capable of.
But that's another reason I've been thinking about it, is that Horizon 2 announcement is happening in 2019.
Yeah,
I think we might just get a title, but I have a strong feeling it's going to be packaged in the announcement of the PlayStation 5.
Brandon, I have to comment on two things. Something I love about you is, like, if Kyle hears something that he disagrees with, he will express immediately that he does not agree with it.
What? No!
Yeah, exactly. I can tell sometimes. It's not even that you disagree with it. It just causes you slight pain, like slight emotional pain. And you're just like, yeah, okay. All right, I hear you out. That's fine.
The controls.
Yeah. And every once in a while, and I think usually Kyle can bring it out of you, that will snap. Where you're like, no, that's just ridiculous. Every once in a great while.
I think the main thing with controls for me, the two main things with Red Dead controls are, one, I didn't have any issues. Like, yeah. I just feel very, very comfortable, and that maybe just because I put so many hours into that game.
I think that's part of it.
Somebody mentioned when we were streaming it that I was in trying to buy a horse and online, and I was like, how the hell does this work? And they were like, you cannot complain about the controls anymore. And I don't know if dealing with a vendor is controls. You know what I mean?
This is what I mean. This is exactly what I mean.
Controls seems like pulling weapons out, picking stuff up, getting on and off the horse. That's like controls. Whereas like if it's a menu, especially if it's something I haven't done before. But it's just that I want to have a constructive conversation about it. I want to know how you still achieve what you can do in that game and make the controls better. And I've yet to see like that video on YouTube. I've yet to see that person who's like, let's break it all down and rebuild this. Everyone's just like, they suck. And
You
it's
make
like, well,
that
how
video.
did they... Well, I don't think they should be changed. I think it's fine. I want to make the salty. I thought about that. I thought about making a video called "In Defense of Red Dead," where I go through like the top 10 complaints and then be like, "Here's why I like them," or "Here's why I think they work." And it's like, can you imagine the comments?
Oh yeah. I can imagine the comments. I feel like I've seen them already.
I thought I was like, yeah, I should make that video, and then I'm like, no, I shouldn't.
Also, it's been distracting.
A Jones editorial no one wants,
because apparently they're saying, like, chat is saying a DMC5 demo leaks. Or an announcement of a demo, an announcement of a demo leaks, and that I swear that was all I want for Christmas. So if that's true, it's been a little harder to pay attention.
Woo. Smash, Devil May Cry demo.
I know. It's a good, happy boy.
We were supposedly gonna get a Dreams demo this year. They like kind of hinted that at E3. I don't know. Could happen. Boy, that would be sick. Shadow dropped that today. Good night. I'm leaving. I'm not going to the after party. I'm kicking you out playing Smash, and I'm playing Dreams. Joe Frantic. Hello, Brandon and Ben. First off, congrats on the studio. Very excited for what you can do with the space. I was gone traveling the world for 3 months. 3 months. Nice. I went all over Europe, Asia, and Australia, during which I didn't game at all, except a quick pop or two in a PC cafe in Seoul. Love that. Need to know what you played. Whenever you drop little nuggets like that, we need to know what you played.
I feel like that's the most hardcore way to pop in. Like, I didn't do anything except for when I went real hard.
I came back to a full backlog just before Thanksgiving, and while I haven't made much progress, Spider-Man Down, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Chapter 4, I'm excited to hop into Dragon Quest XI based largely off of the recommendation of Mr. Ben Moore. Easy Allies has really helped me expand my gaming horizons. Me too. Like, I also feel that way.
I feel that way.
I would be so much more limited in my scope of this industry had I was out doing this.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to get into this one. I likely won't beat it for a while, and it will chip away. And we'll take a chip away approach to this massive game, but the passion shown for it really has me determined to give this a real chance. Love and respect, Joe Frantic. I started Dragon Quest XI with that thought. I was like, all right, I'm not beating this till next year.
Yeah.
And then I was like, uh-oh.
Brandon, you finishing Dragon Quest XI is one of the best things that has happened in 2018 to me. It's great. And man, I just want to say, I feel like a lot of people at Easy Allies could have reviewed Dragon Quest XI, so it was a huge honor getting to review it. So it was a good time.
Outcast Rider. Merry Christmas, Brandon and Ben. I hope you both had a great Thanksgiving, and congratulations on getting the studio. Woohoo! Can't wait to see what you guys do with the new space. Everyone says, it's like the next sentence. Congratulations. Now bring it.
Yeah. Congratulations. Don't let me down.
This better be good.
Yeah. I hope it'll be good. It'll be us.
Yeah. It will be us, for better or worse. This month has been kind of quiet for me. Staying busy with the holiday rush has been taking up most of my time, but I've still been able to play some great games. 2 of those great games are gems I hope all the allies have planned, but I'm pretty sure the venerable Ben Moore has played both of these beautiful and well-crafted games inspired and shaped by Japanese mythology and culture. They are Okami.
Yeah.
And Muramasa the Demon Blade.
Yes. Actually, I have played both of those games. I've not finished either of those games, though. Ooh. So, degenerate Ben Moore.
While Okami has been heralded as one of the prime examples of video games as art, I completely and fully believe that Muramasa the Demon Blade belongs in the discussion as well. I think all video games are art. That's a whole other topic. There's good art and bad art, but there's no non-art. Non-art is so ridiculous to me. But moving on. While the Muso-style gameplay, the constant backtracking, and the perception of its story being confused has probably prevented Muramasa from being considered among the pantheon of games as art, there is no denial that this game is absolutely gorgeous and pays wonderful homage to traditional games styles of Japanese art. Oh, what a feast for the eyes it is. I look forward to playing other games with such beautiful art styles, though for the moment, such titles are failing to come to my mind. Perhaps you gentlemen have such a suggestion?
Something that I think is just fresh in my mind and super quick is The Missing. Cool. You seem to be able to kind of appreciate more subtle things about games, and I think if you're willing to go through some of the inherent jankiness of The Missing, which is totally present, I think you'll walk away with a lot.
You know what randomly jumped to my head that you just mentioned on Slack a little bit ago? I don't remember when you mentioned this. Killer 7.
Yeah.
Like, that's a game that was not following any beats from the industry. Like, that was a game that was not Killer 7's not a game where they're like, well, I'll just make one of those games. And it's just completely its own thing, top to bottom.
Yeah.
Even after all these years,
it's such its own thing that it really kind of takes a while for you to wrap your head around it and kind of get in tune with how it controls and how you move through environments. But it's cool. It's a cool game.
Tetris Effect Res. definitely Res. And Dreams, whenever the heck that comes out.
Also, just a shout out to Deadly Premonition as well.
Nice.
Give that a try.
If not that, it is perfectly fine. I hope. If not, that's perfectly fine. I hope you both have a great December. I'll be hoping and praying everything with the move will go swimmingly. Moves never go swimmingly, but we will get through it for both you and the rest of the allies. And as a PS, just wanted to let Ben know that I should finally have the money saved up to get a gaming PC in December. Once that PC arrives, I'm gonna boot it up and finally get to play the original Valkyria Chronicles.
Nice.
My last PC kicked the bucket right as it was downloading the game from Steam. I love that revenge play. I'm gonna play you. The PC is gonna play this game. What if it kills the PC again?
It's not too intense.
And I look forward to giving my thoughts on the much personally anticipated game when you return to the community showcase. Love and respect, Outcast Rider. I got a crash in Just Cause 4 the other day, and it was very clear what crashed it. It was like an objective in a mission where it's like, all right, time to open this giant door in the distance. And I like hit the button and like crashed. And it's always scary, as you know, from 76.
Yes.
When a button crashes the game and you go back to that button, you're like, oh, it works, okay. Like that second time. Granted, the second time you went back in 76, it crashed again most of the time, but
76 you would have these moments where like you saw it slowly breaking, where you would go into a room and you would pick up something and the server would lag and you're like, it's going to disconnect me. And then it wouldn't for like 25 minutes. And then you get to the end of something and then it go, you're disconnected for no reason. For no reason.
Barry Bumfroyd, hey Jones and Ben and Chad, congratulations once again on the studio. Incredibly happy for all of you. Very excited to see what it looks like. You're gonna get the next sentence. And how the shows visually evolve on the new set. Seeing as we have Ben here this month, I wanted to ask specifically about Frame Trap.
Yeah.
I've detailed here before how big of a deal Frame Trap has been for me. Not only was it my pathway drug into Easy A, the backlog really helped me at a time when I desperately needed the good conversation, jolly vibes, and hot takes. Or Hitake's, apologies. It still does on my good weeks and my bad ones. So Ben, how do you see Frame Trap evolving in the new studio? What are your dream goals for the show? A logo rebrand, a specific set, demons as panelists? And do you think we will ever break the 4-hour mark? Love and respect. Barry, P.S. Klonoa full playthrough. Lock it in.
Yeah, I would love to do a Klonoa full playthrough. Embarrassing story about me and Klonoa very quickly. That was a game when I think I was in elementary school. I went and my grandma bought me, and I got it just because I thought the cover art looked good.
Nice.
And I was so in love with it that they weren't Legos, but they were Lego-like things. I made the Klonoa ring.
Yeah.
And I like ran around as a small child being like, yeah. I really like Klonoa 1 a lot. Haven't played Klonoa 2, but the PS1 game.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. That happened. Frame Trap, how do I see it evolving? Two things on Frame Trap. I would like the Hotakes to be better. I'd like them to be more consistent. I think a lot of times the way that I approach Hotakes is like, okay, what do I think is interesting? What do I think will generate conversation? And I'd really like to get the panelists more involved and be like, what do you guys care about? Is this just me caring about this and you guys are just kind of along for the ride? Right. I don't want it to feel that way. I want it to feel like, hey, all three of us are invested in what we're talking about, and have more nuance and depth to those conversations. I don't think they have to all be serious. I think that's a fallacy that you can run into. I think they can sometimes be fun and lighthearted, but I do think the panelists should care about what you're talking about. Beyond that, I would like to extend it to the game conversations as well. There are a lot of times, just because of the nature of the job, where it's only one person talking about a game, and I think the conversation suffers.
You can actually step back a little bit from the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
When we're streaming.
Ooh.
No, it's all good. I just saw somebody mention that in chat. And...
Yeah. I forget that the camera's on, and I just like do move back and forward and all this stuff. But yeah, I would like the panelists in general to be more involved. People always, it's kind of a meme. They're like, when are we going to get the 5-hour Frame Trap?
Yeah.
Not against that. I think Frame Trap should go on as long as it needs to. But ideally, I think doing this for a couple of years now, the best Frame Trap links to me are about 2.5 hours. I don't think you need to be long to be good. Not that 2.5 hours isn't long, it is.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be like, okay, guys, we're doing a 5-hour frame trap just because I like it when I feel I can take a step back from a frame trap and be like, man, every single conversation, we were on point, we were engaged, we were energetic. That's what matters more to me than it's 5 hours
I know
long.
Tabletops get counted by episodes. Are you counting frame traps? Do you know when you're going to hit 100?
Yeah.
We've already done that probably.
No,
because you do every other week.
No,
That's
we
right.
haven't. We haven't.
Just the 100th one would be fun if you did like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Intentionally. Like,
I do think it'd be fun to have like an event. Yeah. Where it's like, okay, we're raising money for charity. 8-hour frame trap. That I'd be on board for, but probably not a regular episode.
Brad Grenz. Hey, Benjo. What do you think about Benjo?
Not into it.
Okay. With Ben here today, I thought I'd do a roundup of things I've enjoyed in 2018 that are right up his alley, but I don't believe he's played. Here we go.
Okay.
Mutant Year Zero.
I played it at an event. Does that count?
This game released just Tuesday, but the game unlocked early for anyone with a pre-order. So I've already managed to sink in a good 6 hours. The game has been billed as XCOM with a snarky talking duck, but what you really need to know is that it's actually XCOM with a huge stealth component. The game moves between real-time exploration and turn-based combat at will. Each map you freely explore to look for resources, hidden chests, or bits of lore. When you discover enemies, you must carefully sneak each character into position to execute the perfect ambush.
Somebody just said Benjo and Kazooie, and that got me. I'm sorry.
Nice. Using careful planning and silenced weapons, you can whittle down a sizable force into something manageable by picking off scouts on patrol. You need every advantage you can get once a full camp is aware of your presence. There's no management layer like XCOM. Instead, it's a linear death march toward your objective with the occasional optional area or encounter. Reportedly, the game is not long, but it looks nice and the writing and characters are really well done. Since the price is only $35, it's an easy recommendation. I just want to talk about it seems so obvious, but I just kept thinking about open world and exploration and discovering things and riding the horse and checking off items on the map and like so many parallels between Red Dead Redemption 2 and Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people play on Odyssey and then Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm now playing Odyssey, and it, again, no brainer, but like I'm like going into Odyssey and I was like, oh right, stealth. The thing that Red Dead has almost nothing of, like
the stealth in Red Dead is pretty bad. Yeah,
I was like, oh my god, stealth, and just whittling down, just seeing that last guard being like, guys, like in a fort is so gratifying, right. And then just like landing on him. It was one guy I kicked into a tunnel, and I totally thought that would kill him, but he survived, and then like went into a bush, and he ran all the way back up and ran to the point where I kicked him off and was like, where's that guy? And like one of his friends was like, what? And he's like, someone pushed me off. And they were like both trying to find me. And then like his friend's like, good luck finding him. I don't know. And then I'd sneak up, kill him.
Brandon, I feel like open world games bring out your inner child.
I love them.
I am all for it.
I love it.
I'm
going
all
to be
for it.
85 still being like, this open world game's great. Pathfinder Kingmaker. I kickstarted this game. Oh, played Pathfinder Kingmaker?
Yeah, I did an interview and again another event thing, but I haven't played it.
But that's what's great. Like a lot of times we get to an event and we play a game. It's like, I don't really get to spend a lot of time with that.
Right.
But then so many months later, it's like, that's the only time I've had to play. And so at events, right. It's really fun to be. That's why I miss PAX so much. I didn't go this year because that's the opportunity to at least I have something I can say about this game. I have spent a little time with it.
Yeah.
Excited by the prospect of another throwback RPG, this time using some really crunchy old school D&D derived mechanics. Crunchy. The game at launch was buggy and the difficulty was not well tuned, but the devs have been great about pushing updates and fixes. That said, it made a great impression from day one. The 3D engine looks great and the character creation options are immense. There's a huge list of subclasses to build from, the writing is sharp, and the dungeons are vast and challenging. You can play for dozens of hours before you ever make it to the Kingmaker phase of the game, where the player is entrusted with a personal barony? Oh, so you're made a baron. Reportedly, the last couple of chapters remain buggy and overly difficult, so I'm slow playing this one, but in my first 30 hours, I've enjoyed it immensely. Battletech. Battletech?
I watched Damiani stream it. That's
Nice.
been my only experience with Battletech.
It says a lot in a year with incredible games like God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Onrush, Pillars of Eternity 2, and more. Love the Onrush shout out.
Blood's
Battletech
happy.
may actually be my personal goatee. It is easily my most played game of 2018 at over 100 hours clocked in Steam. It embodies the perfect alchemical mix of nail-biting strategic combat, deep and interesting mech customization, a satisfying loop of finding enough jobs to keep your mercenary group solvent, and that Pokemon-esque lust to find and salvage one of every mech in the game. Bonus points for using the word alchemical in a game description.
I like that.
Love it.
These are good descriptions overall.
It is a truly magical formula that only gets better as the devs build out the game post-release with UI refinements, balance improvements, and new play modes. The just-released Flashpoint DLC piles on additional mechs, mission types, and biomes to fight in. Battletech is an exceptional experience that earns my highest recommendation, the coveted Golden Bradzo Award. Thank you, Brad.
You know, I can really feel Brad's passion there. I like that a lot. The problem with all three of those, and especially when you combine them, those are all very dense games that take a lot of time, which is great. That's not a bad thing for those games, but especially in the month that we're in right now, it's a little difficult.
Ben, on my backlog right now, I wouldn't say it's on the top of it. I think the top of my backlog right now is Doom, because I have it, I've never played it, and it's on my PS4 downloaded, ready to go.
I don't care what you have to sacrifice to play Doom.
But it's next. It's the next one. All right. Kiwami's also up there too, but I already put like 2 or 3 hours into Kiwami.
Play Zero.
Yeah, I know. But you know what I think is the angriest game in my backlog?
Okay.
I think out of everything in my backlog, this is definitely top 5. The game that is in my backlog right now and is looking at me just like, what is it going to take? Is Divinity Original Sin 2, man. Like, that game is like, what do I got to do?
Yeah.
You own it. I'm on your PS4. You have a friend that you can play co-op with that also has it downloaded on their PS4 that's just waiting for you. What's going on?
People always peg me as the JRPG guy. I think in a lot of ways, Divinity is like RPG of the generation. Eastern, Western, doesn't matter. Like it
just seems
so good.
So dense.
It is. It is incredibly
just seems
dense.
like a burger you just can't fit into your mouth, so you're just gonna bite the bottom of it.
Yeah,
you know,
it is. It's hard to get into. It is. It's hard to get into. It pushes back quite hard, but it's worth it, man. It's so worth it.
And it when I played it on PC for a little bit, I played it at a demo event. I had it demoed for me twice at PAX, 2 consecutive PAXs, and I played it at E3 Judges Week on PS4 for just 20 minutes. It was like, this is so intuitive and fun. Like, just the translation of console was like, oh man, this is so good.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Divinity Original Sin 2 is absolutely phenomenal. That's actually a game where you're talking about Dragon Quest 11 and like, oh man, I wish you would have scored it higher. I actually think Divinity Original Sin 2 deserves a higher score than what it got, and I reviewed it. Like, that game is fantastic.
2 more comments, then we're moving on to the media. RB. Hello, Jones and Ben. I hope you're all doing well and feeling rested for tonight. I am not feeling rested for tonight at all. First off, I want to say major congrats on the studio. I'm so happy for your guys, and you guys deserve this so much. I hope you take your time settling in and getting into a new groove of things. Well, that was a very nice that compliment gave us a lot of leeway. That's like, take your time.
Do whatever you want. I'll be around.
Better be good. I hope you... last month, my post was about what Final Fantasy 15 means to me and my mother. Since Ben is on the showcase this time, I thought I'd give a quick update on how Yakuza 0 went for my mother.
Play Yakuza 0.
I introduced this as her second game ever to play because she's Japanese and loves her TV dramas.
That's perfect, yeah.
Yakuza 0 100% feels like getting to play in one. She adored the characters, was enamored by the story, and couldn't get enough of interacting with the towns and everyone in them.
It is a TV drama. Yeah.
I think she's done more in the game than I have. Here's a rundown of how she felt after finishing. Favorite character? At first, Kiryu, but by the end, Majima.
The correct answer.
Favorite side activity? Singing along with the karaoke. Close second, cabaret management.
I wish this was my mom. Like, this is upsetting. Okay.
Favorite, I love pining after other people's parents.
Yeah,
I love.
I really do.
My
I
friend Todd, his dad has a Batman tattoo on his leg, and I'm just like, oh.
Yeah. Like,
I wish my dad had a Batman tattoo. Favorite sub-stories? The Doll Girl. The Show Must Go On. Least favorite things? 1. Combat.
Yeah.
After 100 hours of Final Fantasy 15, then moving to this, I thought she was going to hard quit at that first room with 20 people to beat up. Heat actions almost made it more enjoyable. Almost.
No, they do.
Note, she never warmed up to fighting huge groups, but small groups, boss battles, she was all in, baby. 2. No appetizing food close-ups. Overall, 8.5. So 2 for 2 games so far.
I don't understand. I do wish they would give like a kind of a more over the top presentation of the food. It is usually very basic, and that is disappointing. I agree with that.
So now, explain this to me, Ben, because I saw this on social media, and I'm ignorant to a lot of things from Japan. So there's like you make the drinks in Yakuza that he's like, oh, he goes through like the big intense thing.
Are you thinking of Fist of the North Star?
I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, you're thinking of because
I saw the character.
That is phenomenal.
Because I saw the character from Fist of the North Star doing it, but I was like, isn't that from Yakuza?
No, it's made by the Yakuza team, but it's Fist of the North Star.
Because it seems like a very Yakuza type thing.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah.
All right.
Got it figured out.
There's a scene where you make drinks in Red Dead that's like, kind of like that. After finishing Yakuza 0, I had a variety of games ready to suggest next, but she asked me, what about the other 14 Final Fantasies? Oh boy,
yeah.
Had to settle in for that FaceTime explanation. Showed her a bit of each mainline game, and lo and behold, she picked... Just take a crack.
9.
Final Fantasy 14.
Oh boy.
We started playing together, and
have fun with Damiani.
Story for another time. I can't wait for Mom's first MMO. Let's do it. So question for you guys. Any games to add to the suggestion pool of games for her? Older turn-based games might be out. She was not into the look of the older Final Fantasies.
Oof.
She loves learning new things, and one of the draws for her is the characters. She's expressed interest in The Witcher, but she's also expressed interest in Bloodborne of all things. So there's that.
Game Awards needs best mom.
If it's in English, that's okay. I don't expect you guys to know what games offer Japanese or not, and M ratings are fine. I have most consoles and handhelds, so go wild. As always, love and respect. Cheers. Trying to think of characters. I wonder if just anything Telltale. I wonder if like a Wolf Among Us or Season 1 Walking Dead or even Life is Strange would suit her.
Based on Chad has brought this up a couple of times. I do think
Persona 5, please, Mom.
Persona 5 actually might make a lot of sense.
Can we nominate her as trending gamer?
But let's get real wild. Like maybe this mom would be into Nier. Like let's do it.
Ooh.
Let's give it a shot. Why not?
Yeah. Gareth Forshaw for our final comment. I just want to let everybody know, crazy week. I grabbed all of the stuff last night. I was organizing this until like 2 a.m. If you posted today, I'm sorry. Oh, that actually reminds me. I'll do it. I should probably do that now. Keep chat entertained. I keep forgetting to make the post public.
So chat, let me tell you about Yakuza 0. It's at a very affordable price. It's a lengthy game. And so if you're somebody that really likes to have your dollars make sense, Yakuza 0 is the right game for you. And you might think, oh man, that's just a Ben Moore game. That's just a Michael Huber game. No, some things in this world are for everyone. Yakuza 0 is one of those games. Get yours today on PlayStation 4 and Steam. Thank you. Are you entertained?
Are you entertained?
Are you entertained? Let's talk about Smash, I guess. If we still got some more time, we can talk about Smash. Chad, I've been playing Marth, and Marth is real good. And for me, it's not just about being good in fighting games; it's about being fun. But when you're a good character and you're fun, that's a good combination. It was going to be Lucina, but I don't have Lucina yet, and I'm kind of getting attached to Marth, so I think we might go there. Not the most interesting pick, I admit. But sometimes you have to follow your heart, even if that heart is bland and boring. There you go. Who are you going to main, chat? We'll call up interesting things as we see them. Inklings is good, and that's from Hogue Law.
What I just did was make the post public. So if you're just watching this on Twitch, you're watching this after the fact. If you want to reread these comments, or specifically if you want to learn more about the people that made all of the amazing art and photographs and stuff that we're about to get into, then you can go to patreon.com, look for the community showcase submissions for December 2018, and you'll see all of that in the comments. And again, if you posted this morning, I missed it. Today's too crazy. I don't have time to go and search for that stuff. We got to move on. So apologies if stuff was skipped, as it sometimes is. And hopefully we can do 2 posts or get people updated on that stuff next month. But the final comment, Gareth Forshaw. Hey there, Brandon and Ben. While I had played Crash Bandicoot when I was younger and remember enjoying it a lot, I didn't end up buying the Insane Trilogy when it released last year. That changed just this month, though, due to the imminent launch of Spyro Reignited. As a way of getting into the classic platformer mood, I caught the Crash Trilogy on special and played through all 3 games over the next week. And I'm happy to say, They hold up.
Nice.
They were fun, controlled well, mostly, and each offered enough of a challenge to keep interesting. The option to play as Coco throughout each of them was greatly appreciated addition as well. In my opinion, Crash 2 is the best of the bunch, having built upon what Crash did already so well. While Crash 3 took it a step too far with badly controlled motorcycle levels, air-based dogfights which only show up twice in the main game, incredibly slow jet ski levels, and eventually giving you a bazooka that seemed overpowered, so I chose not to use it. Crash 2 was so fun, in fact, that I decided to return to it and got my first ever Platinum trophy.
Nice.
Which is not an easy feat.
The first Platinum, it feels the best.
Each level in the game has a time trial, and the most difficult trophy in Crash 2 is the one you receive for attaining a gold relic rank for each of them. Some of the time requirements were really tight, and when you're playing on time trial, all checkpoints throughout the level are removed, so any death means restarting from the beginning, which, when you're running through a stage trying to be as quick as possible, happens a lot more than when taking it slow and steady. Nevertheless, I was able to manage it with some perseverance, and I'd recommend it to any of the Crash fans we have in the Allies. So, then Spyro Reignited launched, and I hopped right in. I haven't quite gotten through the whole trilogy yet. I'm halfway through Spyro 3 at the moment, but I'm having a really good time with it so far. I also got my second and third Platinum trophies from Spyro 1 and 2 respectively.
Nice.
Compared to Crash 2, they were a breeze, but were still fun to get. I'm fearful that the Spyro 3 Platinum might be a long way away, with Smash Ultimate being released tomorrow, but hopefully I'll get back to it after not too long. It's a good time to be a gamer. Love and respect, Gareth Forshaw.
The nuclear missile that is Smash. Like, forget your backlog, forget what you were playing. You're here now.
We smash now.
We smash now.
We big media now. Now it's time for us to shrink ourselves and move on to the rest of the content. We made ourselves a little bit bigger, a little bit of a new layout for the showcase, and looking to possibly up the visual presentation of the showcase, possibly in the new studio. May have to get more people involved. And you don't need that, because we were looking at stuff. You don't need to listen to stuff for a while.
I just like headphones.
But I appreciate your enthusiasm. Kicking it off with Zephyrmoon.
Oh, that's so cute.
Season's greeting, Jones and Ben. Zephyrmoon here, aside from Ben. Remember last month when I announced that I am now developing a webcomic based on an old idea that I had? Well, after cringing at my old notes and character dialogues, I basically have now started to rewrite the story that's much more fitting to my style and a little more relevant. So, here I introduce the main protagonist of my webcomic, who coincidentally shares the same name as the best pupper in the world, Sophie.
Great.
I created the character way back in 2012, and she has undergone many changes since then, namely on how hollow of a character she was back then to somebody who is a little more well-rounded and looking to better herself. While I'm at it, I thought it would be fun if I drew Ben in the style of my webcomic. I hope you like it. Also, since the holidays are coming up, I thought I'd share a holiday tradition of having assembled a gingerbread house. Happy holidays, allies, and many heartfelt congrats on acquiring the studio. Love and respect, Zephyrmoon. P.S. Dragon Quest XI is my goatee.
Nice.
A lot of love for Ben in that
comment.
Boy,
that was a nothing but goodness. I love this drawing. I love the
drawing. I love the charm. I love the pose. I love the evolution of a character. Mm-hmm. I actually have a animated television show that I wrote a couple episodes of that I realized, right? That it was a long time ago, that I realized after I wrote the pilot, and I sent it to some friends that have notes, and they were like, yeah, one of the problem is the main character is kind of an ass. And I was like, oh. They're like, it's kind of important in the first episode of a cartoon for you to like the main character.
Sure.
Unless it's like Animaniacs where they're trolls or something. It's like, I get the feeling that I should like this guy, and I really don't. And you know what really turned me around, and I'm going to use as a model if I ever go back to this, is Box Peak. Just in 10 minutes, you love Jordy. Yeah. Like, you love this character. And I think Kyle does a really good job of setting him up as a fallible character who makes mistakes, but as someone you really want to achieve his goals, and you really just, his enthusiasm is infectious. And so I love the idea of her. Like, I created this character 4 years ago, and it's crazy how much that character has changed and evolved.
Yeah.
I think what's great about developing stories and characters and worlds.
The fact that you were able to go back to these personal creations and be like, you know what, this could be a lot better. I think that's very mature. I respect that a lot. That's awesome.
One of the reasons I haven't developed that thing further is it's a comedy, and comedy is hard.
Yeah, comedy is so hard.
So hard. Kit Snow. Oh, wait, no, we got to get through these. I'm sorry. We got to get through these pictures. Here we go. Ben Moore. Just chilling, just jolly.
Hey.
Going
to buy Smash.
Just going to buy Smash. Hair swept, windswept hair. I thought they had a vest on for a second. You got like a cool bowling shirt on, which I like.
Yeah, it's like a Pokémon shirt, like Team Squirtle shirt. I'm into it.
I like the jeans rolled up.
Yep.
This is mostly how you go through life, Ben.
It is how I go through life. Absolutely.
No big deal.
No, I love it. Thank you.
It's like an RPG just kind of popped in your head, and this is you being like, did I play that?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do I own that game? I think I do.
Do I own that game? Should probably rebuy it. Should probably rebuy that game. Yeah.
One of the things that I like, Ben, that you say on like group streams is like we'll finish something or like a game will come up in chat.
Yeah.
And we'll have finished the stream, and one of the first things you say like after we go offline is you're like, I'm playing that game tonight.
Yeah.
And I believe you will.
Yeah.
You know, like.
But the thing is, I feel that's so easily.
You're like, you know what? I'm playing that.
Like somebody, either the allies or somebody on chat will be like, "Hey, you know this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do," and I'll get really excited in the moment. But it's too many things. It's too many things.
And just to keep the jolliness going, Gingerbread House. Boom! Look at that.
Oh my God!
Look at that beautiful one. And as if you thought,
that's amazing.
This gorgeous and frankly delicious. Like with that whole path leading up to the front door, I just want to eat all of that. I think those are Spree. I believe that's Spree.
That looks like Spree to me.
Is it, you think
Spreed forever.
This couldn't get jolly or more appropriate for the showcase? Look at the back of it. Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. Really?
Yeezy house.
I have made a gingerbread house, and not easy to do. Deceptively hard to have it stay together, and that looks like a well-built thing. So good job.
Moving on to Kit. Bam.
Oh.
Kit Snow, hi Jones and Ben. Narnia has always been one of my favorite things in the world. My dream is to get some exploration of the golden age of Narnia where the Pevensie siblings are kings and queens. So I went ahead and drew what I loosely imagined what they would look like. And if you are unfamiliar, in order, this is Lucy, Edmund, Susan, and then Peter from Narnia. Any Narnia takes?
Not really. Not a Narnia guy. Not because I am against it. I just not a part of my life. But I do want to say I've known like Kit's been an Ally fan since the beginning, right. And she's shared the art with us the whole time, right. And like I've always enjoyed it, but like just keeps getting better and better. So hats off to Kit.
Yeah.
I think you just keep getting better as an artist. So thank you so much.
Definitely seeing development from Allies. Over the course of stuff, and I have read Lion Witch in the Wardrobe, and I think I might have read Prince Caspian. I think is the second one, but Netflix is picking those up, so I'm curious to see. It's like Netflix is doing everything. It's Netflix is doing everything. If there's something that anybody dropped, Netflix is picking it up.
Netflix is doing everything.
Yes, thank you, Kit. And here we go.
Like, that's really my favorite. Good. That's really
just
really
a
good
random. I always think of this because it's just so funny, and I quote it so many times. But there's an outtake from the first film of Lion Witch in the Wardrobe of the new series that they did, where what is her name? She's the angel in Constantine, and I can't remember, this wonderful actress. I can't remember her name. Who's just like they can do so much. Oh, she was in Doctor Strange. She was the
Kate
the
Blanchett?
teacher, not Kate Blanchett. You would think she's Kate Blanchett adjacent. She's okay. She's in the Kate Blanchett era. Tilda Swinton. Thank you. Tilda Swinton plays the Ice Queen in Lion Witch in the Wardrobe, and there is a outtake of her, and she's waiting for them to shoot, and she goes, "I'm falling off the sled," and then she falls. I don't know why that line is so funny to me. It's like an outtake, just telling the crew like, here I go. But here, let's go through it. So we got Lucy. We got Edmund.
These are so good.
And I love that they're profiles. I love that these look like these would be on emblems or just like up on like in stained glass or something out on the window.
These could
Susan.
Be in a wonderful fantasy book, I think. That's how good they are.
And Peter. I love the aged look of the crowns. So yes, Kit, thank you so much for those. Kit has done a wonderful job with those. We hope to get more stuff in the future.
And thank you for sharing.
I love a set too as well. And I love again just the fancy drops of things like talking about Narnia. Casey, aka Enderglow. Hi Brandon and Ben. I've got more art this month, 2 pieces entirely unrelated to each other, but I've been very busy, so I haven't had time to do much. First, this is a piece I did for a fan art contest for a mobile game I like. I love that. That's a fun way to start.
Oh,
Jingle Kitty! I love the different colored eyes.
What is Jingle Kitty from?
No, Jingle Kitty probably is probably what the game's called.
Okay.
It's kind of weird, but I think it came out really well, so I'm proud of it. Second is fan art of the She-Ra reboot, because I binged it all recently, and it's the best.
Nice.
I have not seen it yet, but it's definitely something I will probably make time for eventually. Super jolly with great characters that I loved immediately, so I had to draw Adora, the one I relate to the most. Happy Game Awards Day, allies. Love and respect, Casey.
Casey, that's great.
Yeah, and I love that style. What's up?
No, I just want to know more about Jingle Kitty. Like, now I'm invested in the character.
Okay. Chum Nguyen. Hello, Brandon and Ben. I just finished Astro Bot Rescue Mission this week, and it was magical. I haven't had such a joyful time playing a game that felt like I was a kid again for a long time, and would recommend it 100%. I also started Shenmue, and I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. I really don't need the right stick for camera because it originally wasn't there, and it feels weird to use. Haven't played Monster Hunter World since Behemoth whooped my ass, so I'll be playing it a bit during this Winter Festival event that is currently going on.
Nice.
Really love it, and it's definitely one of my goatees. Here's some art for the month, and congratulations on getting the studio. I have no doubt you guys will put it to good use and shave the uneasiness some people have moving out of the garage. Love and respect, Tirju Engi. Movie recommendations, Fist of Fury, HK in parentheses, Clue, hell yeah, Clue, A Girl Who
Never
Leapt
seen
Through
Clue.
Time, it's anime, series, Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, games, God Hand, Astro Bot Rescue Mission. That is what he's up to. And
That's
here's,
awesome.
Some new art for Chum Nguyen.
Oh, that's cute too. I love that little sword and shield.
Can't tell is that frustrated Ben?
Maybe. I've definitely looked like that
Fallout
before.
76.
Yeah.
Disconnected from
It's
server.
possible.
Love it.
I kind of got Tokyo Ghoul vibes from that picture. Oh, nice. Should say Dragon of Ohio.
It should say Dragon of Ohio. I had Ohio earlier, and I was surprised you didn't. Just somebody said they were from Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't you from Ohio? Man?
Yeah. You should have. You should have got on in.
Oh boy.
This is great.
Yeah, exactly. You could just tattoo that on your back. I love the tattoo hype in Yakuza. Also, just
the presentation,
the glistening,
the glory,
wet, rain-soaked, tattooed skin.
I think Behemoth might be my favorite fight in Monster Hunter World, which is funny because it's a Final Fantasy monster.
Now you might have to help me with this pixel art. Is this a tabletop nod?
This is a Monster Hunter nod.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is from Tyson Wynn. Hello, I'm super excited for the next 3 days and hope there will be a lot to look forward to after the Game Awards and kind of funny showcase. Hopefully there will be an expansion for Monster Hunter World announced. I'm also hoping that Nintendo Online will function well enough to play Smash with my friends who have scattered around since we graduated. To the art! I've been in a creative rut, and I wasn't sure I'd have anything for the showcase, so this afternoon, I decided to default to my favorite creative exercise, a video game mock-up. They can be really fun and low effort, you can just make whatever you like and not have to worry about any logistics. I really enjoy researching screenshots and seeing how game artists make HUDs that provide information without too much clutter. Congrats on the studio, and the Don't Skip was great, Ben.
Thank you.
So yeah, one of the things that I just was staring at forever, somebody mocked up the Castlevania anime as a Castlevania game. It was just one screen. It was specifically from 2 with the giant fireball going down the hallway, and they're like in front of it, and Dracula's behind it. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's always such a bittersweet moment when you see those things.
Because I think I didn't know the context when I first saw it. And I'm like, they're not. Oh, but still, it's really good.
Brandon, there's a part of me that wishes, like, sometimes I could just work exclusively on Don't Skips because it's my favorite thing to work on.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else... I probably appreciate it more than anybody else does, but I don't know. It's awesome. Just talking about games.
Sebastian Hall, get ready for some beautiful shots of nature. These are almost all exclusively just nature shots, and
cool.
I love this.
I don't go outside, so this will be useful.
I know, it's good. As you can tell by our complexion. Sebastian Hall, hi Brandon and Ben. First of all, I just want to take a moment and give some extra love to Ben.
Thank you.
He's such a great guy. Always having good thoughts and comments on things and games. I love to always turn on into his stream as they are always so cheery, and he's excellent at both playing the games and interacting with chat and making everyone feel included. I think we all should give Ben more, see what I did there, of that love and respect. So to my post, last week I ended up having to go away for work and doing a week on site with a client and the Microsoft HoloLens. This was a lot of fun, and I learned a bunch of things, which is always a bonus. We were located in northern Wales and had the last days off. As we had Snowdonia, the beautiful national park fairly close by, we decided to do a day hike. Me and my colleague got up early and decided to head out despite the gray-looking sky. Yes, that's awesome. I love it. You and the coworkers are like, let's go hiking.
Yeah.
They get up and the weather's bad, and they're like, let's still go.
Yeah, we don't say that to each other.
We don't. After a couple hours on our adventure, the heaven decided to open up. It was stormy and absolutely pouring down. This made the landscape look even more magical and almost like something straight out of a storybook. Despite being soaked in the rain, we had lunch at a lake and then continued on before we realized that we were completely lost. The rain hindered our sight, and the stormy gusts made our paper map rip apart.
Using a paper map.
Despite hardcore. Despite all of this, we pushed on for another 3 or so hours. Things started to get a little worrisome as we realized things were getting dark. Things were going to get dark quickly. A very real issue when you go hiking, something that you can forget and not prepare for. And we didn't want to be stuck on a mountainside on a stormy night. We kept the mood high despite all of this, and we couldn't help but laugh at our situation as we continued on. We had our phones, but they were not much. There was not much of a signal in the deep valleys of Wales. Luckily enough, we eventually found a proper road as we could, cold and hungry, start to find our way back. Don't feel sorry for us though. We got to see some amazing scenery, and when we got back, we had a hot tub and cold beer waiting for us. In the end, it was an experience I won't forget and still makes me chuckle when I think back at how everything went south. Have you guys ever had a hiking experience go a bit or a lot wrong? Love and respect, Lotiaz. I definitely got one. Curious what your hiking trip gone wrong story is.
When I say don't go outside, that's like not a joke. But when I was a kid, I was in Boy Scouts and I would like go camping with my dad, and that was amazing.
Nice.
The first time I went camping with my girlfriend's family, like I was a new boyfriend, and the tent I was supposed to stay in like blew away.
The new camping boyfriend trip.
Yeah, the new camping.
New boyfriend camping trip.
Camping trip. But yeah, not really great stories. I do want to give it to Lotius though. That sounds like a you'll never forget that moment kind of thing. It's great.
One fun moment was we went hiking, I believe it was up by Big Bear, and it was just Amanda, myself, and Sophie. And we totally miscalculated when the sun was going down, because the thing is, you're like, oh, sunset's at this time, we'll be fine. But if you're in a mountain that has tall trees, you got to subtract an hour or add an hour, if you will, to that, because the sun's going to go behind the trees. So even if it's not like on the horizon gone, it's gone. Like you can't see anything, and things get dark real quick. And it was pitch black. Can't see my hand in front of my face. And the two things that were hilarious about it were, one, Sophie could totally see fine and was like, come on, I know the way to go. It's really interesting to see Sophie understand trails. Like I didn't teach her that. But like the first time we went hiking with her, she's like, oh yeah, no, this way. Come on, guys. Like, I know where to go. So we had her on
so
leash.
Jealous.
Like, okay.
I'm so jealous. It sounds
amazing. And we can't see, and we're like, we didn't bring flashlights, and my phone was in the car. I didn't bring my phone because I knew I didn't have reception. I'm like, what am I gonna need my phone for? And I was like, God, I wish I had my phone. And I said this out loud. I was like, I wish I had my phone because I could use a flashlight on the phone to get back. And it was like the Three Amigos scene where Chevy Chase has the water and the lip balm, but we like get back to the car, and Amanda's like, oh, so glad we made it back, and pulls out her phone to check something. And I was like, you had
the whole time.
You had your phone the whole time? She was like, yeah, why? And I'm like, there's a flashlight on the phone, honey. And she was like, oh, not to throw my wife under the bus on the stream, which I love to do.
Too late.
It's later in the stream. She's probably tuned out. But I love a good hiking story. Keep them coming.
Do you know, a real question, just a brief moment. Do you know how lucky you are to have Sophie? Like, are you aware?
Dude, before we got Sophie, there was like a website because we got her from a breeder. And so that breeder had a website. And so we would just like boot up, like I would just on my phone, I would just boot up the website and be like, like look at like these young pictures of her. The day we first got her, and we're like, there's your bed in the corner. And she like goes in the corner and it's like, what the hell am I doing in this house? Who the hell are you people? What's going on? Like, and I was just like, it felt like a celebrity. It felt like a model. It felt like I literally like took a model off the runway and just like forced her to stay in my house.
Yeah.
And
now she owns the place.
And like also Sophie didn't take to me for like 5 or 6 days.
Oh.
Because I think a woman trained her. And so I think Amanda kind of naturally gravitated toward Amanda. And then I'll never forget that first time I came home where she was like, oh, you know what? I'm happy you're home. I was like, and I've never taken that love for granted ever since.
Brandon.
And I appreciate your love. Like when you name your first Pokemon Sophie, when you name Eevee Sophie, it's like, whoa. It's real.
She warmed up to me in less than a day.
No, I know. Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. Oh, and that's the interesting thing later. It's like she loves the boys.
Oh, yeah.
She will take to ladies faster. When new boys show up, she's like, who are you? Mm-hmm. And when a lady shows up, she's like, whatever. But like, over time, her love of men will grow much stronger than her love of women.
You described it perfectly. You were like, she comes out and she has to check in with everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Damiani's here. Okay, Kyle's here. Okay, Ben's here. Okay. And she's just so happy to see everybody. You can like almost see her mentally counting like an ally inventory. It's great.
And the behavior I haven't put like my finger on specifically is when she grabs like one of the things that she's chewing on and brings it to you and it's like,
right.
And you're like, whoa. Like I love Kyle's like worked it into his own personal lore where he's like, oh, good job. Yes, I see you've been working on that chew. Good job. I don't know if that's a way of her saying I'm ready to party or if she's like, look at this. I've been working on this for you specifically.
I'm contributing.
Tokyo Slim. Last time I shared pictures, it was of a foggy... Oh, I'm sorry. We got more from Sebastian. I mean, we got this jolly lake. We got just the fogs rolling in. Look at that. Yeah, like...
Witcher vibes.
Now to picture 3, they're probably lost now. He's like, I don't know where we are. I don't know where we're going. We're just going to keep on going. We found a trail. Oh, yeah. Love the wire. Don't go that way.
Love the fog.
Yeah.
Oh, that is beautiful. Yeah, I should go outside. It'd probably be good.
Yeah. Making a good case for outside.
Making a good case.
Pretty fun. There's some fun stuff going on outside. Tokyo Slim. More fog, more trees, more grass. Last time I shared pictures, it was of a foggy camping trip. This time, it's a foggy park near my house, and a foggy container ship and grain elevator near my house. Also, a non-fog related picture of the Seattle Highway 99 viaduct, which is about to be closed and torn down, replaced with a tunnel, which is tangentially video game related because this specific part of it inspired one of the main locations in the game Beyond Two Souls. And this sign is visible in the game during the section where you're homeless. About a month and a half from now, this sign will be gone. Love and respect. Good to know.
Just want to say the allies have very good vocabulary.
They do.
Tangentially, really, really impressive stuff.
Good turns up. Thank you for the subs. We got subs on Twitch. Thank you, everybody. But yeah, love the giant ship. Love the depth of that shot.
Oh, man. I wish I lived on a ship.
There you go. I don't know if you ever played Beyond Two Souls. You're like, of course. I wonder if the graffiti is
It's a really artful photo.
Yeah. And I love taking pictures of stuff. Obviously, a big thing with Disneyland is stuff comes and goes. One, we had a really funny comment. I don't know if it was from Patreon or on Cup of Jones, but Blood shared this on Slack, that somebody was like, remember, before you move out of the garage, take high-res pictures of the background in case you want to use them in the studio on a green screen. And I was like, oh, it's a random point, but yeah.
Very useful.
Good call. Yeah. You know, in case we want to like, doodly-doo, remember back in the day?
Remember Sophie?
Remember so? Oh, God. Oh, jeez. It's an emotional day. Oh, talk about puppers. Talk about good puppers. Tim Strothman. Hi, Ben. Hi, Brandon. Last month, I did not write a showcase submission, and I do not have any updates on any games that I've played in November because I played less than 5 hours total. You may now ask, what else did I spend my spare time on? Well, or to be precise, me and my wife, bought a house, and so I used almost every free minute on renovations. I painted and redecorated walls, took out old carpet, laid new flooring, connected power outlets, and assembled furniture. I will be doing a lot of that in the next 5 weeks. And while it was a lot of work, which gave me sore muscles for weeks, I am pretty proud of how far we got in only 1 month. I learned a lot of new skills. I'm not a craftsman, but a computer scientist, and will probably learn a lot more in the upcoming years. Oh yeah. Moving into a large house certainly has its benefits. I now have my own big office, 190 square feet. Woo! With enough room for permanent Vive setup, which means I can finally play VR games without moving furniture.
That sounds awesome.
I will show some photos from my gaming room once it's finished. Please do. I still need to buy pictures for the walls. Below, you will find some photos of my new hometown, Giseki, I'm guessing. G-E-S-E-K-E. Giseki? Gisek, maybe? Less than 30K inhabitants, which I took on a walk with my dog this weekend. As you can see, it's pretty rural here. That's it for this month. I hope I have more gaming-related stuff to talk about next month. Love and respect, Tim. So there's that pup just taking it all in, absorbing the new environment. Some more stuff. I wonder if these are all taken in the same position.
That's the greenest green, man.
Yeah, I know. You could just go running across that field. Ah,
this is just like one of my Japanese animes.
I imagine where you grew up probably looked a little bit like that, right?
No.
No?
I wish.
No?
I wish.
Samo Rosman. Let's boot up the first picture. In Pali. Aloha, Brandon and Ben. First off, I would like to congratulate you all on getting a studio. Seeing all of your joyous reactions to that announcement video made my evening. I can't wait to see what kind of Easy A flourish is going to be added to your future content. There it is. Once you finally move in. For this month, keeping it with tradition, it seems, I would like to share a few more pictures from another previous vacation. The submission that I was working for the November showcase is still on hold due to the holidays and me just slacking at the moment. So again, in its lieu, please enjoy a quick glimpse into my 2008 trip to Paris for the Blizzard Worldwide Invitational via Venice. 2008 was a huge year for Blizzard in my opinion, with the Burning Crusade wrapping up its content and the next expansion, Wrath of the Lich King, releasing later that year.
Heard that was a good one.
So a couple of my friends and I decided to head to Paris. I was in Europe already that summer to check out the city and also enjoy some gaming. We visited a lot of the sites, ate great food, got to see Diablo 3 announced in person, played some Lich King early access, then swung by Venice as well, since we flew out of there on the way up. And Venice is game related because of Assassin's Creed 2. That is in Venice? Is Brotherhood in Venice? I can't remember. Luckily, it was a sunny, windy day in Venice because although that city is uniquely beautiful, you can have some bad experiences depending on what kind of weather you're unlucky enough to get. Have an amazing December, Merry Christmas, or your equivalent faith holiday with your families, and Happy New Year. I'll see you all in 2019. Love, respect, Samo Rosman. P.S. I've been playing the new Leisure Suit Larry game, and while it's not as great as the earlier iterations, it is definitely fun with good humor, puzzles, and a distinct art style. If you enjoyed the previous games, I could recommend this one without reservation. I have heard a lot about it, and I am tempted to pick it up. Possible not GOTY consideration, so it might be after that. But,
I didn't know you were a Leisure Suit Larry fan.
Yeah, I played a lot of those back in the day. Do you know what that is? Do you know what location this is?
No.
That is the Louvre.
Okay, that's what I was gonna guess, but then I was like, that's gonna be embarrassing if I get it wrong. I was gonna guess the Louvre.
And that is, I don't think that's the Arc de Triomphe.
I can't prove it, but
it might be. That looks like the Arc de Triomphe. There were definitely other pictures. Also, I grabbed 9, I think. I grabbed 8 pictures from Samo. There are others in this collection if you want to go check out other photographs that Samo sent us. You know.
That is the Eiffel Tower, Brandon.
The tower. Every time I see a picture of Paris like this, it reminds me of Google Maps. Paris and Google Maps is so awesome.
Yeah.
It's so great. Because there's a place where you can stand where you can just see every single famous, iconic landmark in Paris all around you. And you feel like Godzilla. It's great. The Moulin Rouge. Great place. Okay movie. There's my hot take.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, just beautiful buildings. I don't know. I think we're now we're in Venice. That is definitely a location I remember from Assassin's Creed 2. Again, fog rolling in. Of course, the famous canals, and wrapping it up with another beautiful body of water. Just looks like a postcard. Beautiful shots. Thank you, Samo.
It's so sad when my experience isn't like, oh, I've heard of those from friends and family, or I've been there. It's, yeah I totally played that in a game. It was real cool. That's basically my experience with it.
Sometimes. I don't go out of the house, but I saw some beautiful photographs of the outside on the showcase.
Those graphics are getting better. It's almost like you're there.
David Lee, aka Zatfundut. Hello, Brandon Jones and Ben Moore. I just received a cool vinyl album, Gods and Nightmares,
That's
covering
sick.
the remaining tracks of Hollow Knight that can't be found in the original soundtrack. Admittedly, I only got this as a collector's item because I simply adore Hollow Knight, but happily own the music digitally as well, so I can enjoy it everywhere. Figured I'd share some photos I took of the album cover and a neat little pin that came with it. Congratulations on your huge announcement earlier this week. Love and respect. So there's the album.
I love that.
And that awesome pin on the side there.
Good stuff. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, there you go. Learning more about the games that we love.
Learning more. Brandon, I am so sorry to do this, but can
Research
I take
break?
Yes.
Do it.
Okay.
Woo! Hi, everybody. Let's talk about Red Dead Redemption 2. They just announced Rockstar's going to be making some updates to Red Dead Online. Specifically, as you would expect, there's a lot of issues of people logging in and connecting to games in Red Dead multiplayer. They're looking to address that issue, as I think we would all expect. But specifically, the economy, they said they're going to be updating a lot. It's weird. I didn't have a lot of problems with the economy after putting so many hours into Red Dead Redemption 2. And of course, take my opinion with a grain of salt because this is a game that I'm, obviously infatuated with. But it was kind of nice stripping all of that away. Same thing as GT Online, and having me slowly have to build back up the basics. Like, I just hit level 20. That's where I'm currently at right now, rank 20. And it was nice unlocking the binoculars, to getting a scope on my repeater for the first time. That felt like a really worthwhile investment when I finally got the money to do that. Saving up the $200 needed to buy the Easy Allies posse. All of those things, it's like the problem with economy. It's like when you have a really restrictive economy, it can be frustrating because you're not getting to the place you want to be as fast as you want. But at the same time, when you finally do get to that point, it's so much more gratifying. It's so satisfying once it is a little bit restrictive. So I could see opinions on both sides, but a lot of people have been complaining about the economy. Interesting thing about Red Dead 2, and this is a very unusual take, but GTA Online is so big. Red Dead Redemption 2 sold so much. Rockstar is in a great place moving forward, not only for the future of GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, but any other games that they're going to be developing in the future, that I'm kind of fine if Red Dead Online doesn't perform as well as GTA Online did. Like if Red Dead Online drops, the population of it drops like by half in the next couple months, that's cool. I'm good. I'll just hang out with the people that are still playing the game. I'll have a wonderful time. If that means queues will go faster potentially because the servers aren't being hammered as much as they are now, I'm cool with that.
Okay.
I totally skipped Bearded Scotsman 86's comment. I actually did a very Santa Claus thing this time where I made a list of the submissions and I checked it twice at the end, and there was one that I missed. I was like, and I didn't pick it up the second time. I grabbed the assets, but I didn't put their name on the list. And so apologies to Bearded Scotsman 86, also known to some as Corn Fan. And I just hate whenever I do that. And so here we go. We're finally getting into it. And it might be hard to read some of the stuff, even if you have this up full screen. Hey, Brandon and Ben. Last month, I tried to share these pictures, but they were missed. So sharing again, 100% my fault. Snippet of my comment to go along with these pictures. I took part in a 5th anniversary celebration for a trophy website I use, www.truetrophies.com. The challenge put forth was to earn a trophy with the name starting with each letter to spell out Happy Birthday True Trophies.
Oh, that's cool.
I earned the trophies in just the 25 trophies in just under 2 days of play time to complete it in 5th place. True Trophies has an interesting concept for trophies. It calculates the amount of users that have a trophy versus how many have played the game and gives a true score for the trophy rather than just the base value. This month, I made more progress in WoW and Overwatch and also picked up the Platinum in Crash Bandicoot 2. Also, with the help of a YouTube video, I learned to complete a Rubik's Cube from any combination. It is actually surprisingly easy to learn the technique. Amanda at one point got obsessed with that because she was like, yeah, there's like a website that tells you how to do it. And once you know it, you're like, just give me a Rubik's Cube. I got to do it.
Gotcha.
And I think it's the kind of thing where like she couldn't do it now. But for like a 4-month span, I would find completed Rubik's Cubes around the house in random locations.
I would watch that video.
For the rest of my post, I thought I would go into some information on my trophy hunting. I have a Google sheet that I use to track lots of different information. So here are the individual posts that you can see. And here's, I believe, it's scrolling down. You can see the next trophies, and you can see the name on the side there.
The Y trophies are interesting to me.
Yeah.
Trophies that start.
And again, if you want to dive deeper into this, you can go to patreon.com/easyallies, find the community showcase submissions post for December, and you can see these links. And then here's the Google Doc, which is the text. The font is way too small for you to probably pick up a lot of those details. This is the games I still have trophies to obtain from. I use conditional formatting for each of the colored backgrounds. The game names change depending on if it has a platinum, blue, or if I haven't obtained any trophies, red. I also color in the backgrounds of the remaining trophies depending on how many trophies I have unlocked. The darker it gets, the closer to being finished. The second page I will share is my completion list. A game goes here once I haven't got all the trophies. Potentially this excludes DLC if I don't own it yet or don't plan to get it. The final page is my stats. This is calculations based on multiple pages to work out where I am. Stats. I love it. I'm sure Bloodworth loves this as well. And how much more I have to go. I am aware that there are websites I can use to track this already, but I found it helpful to keep me focused on getting through some games. Love and respect, Bearded Scotsman 86. Love this work. Love graph paper. Love making lists.
That's some dedication.
Love doing some hard work behind the scenes to actually make all of these goals happen. We're getting into some amazing screenshots, and I love this. Some screenshots from Megan Leinart. Hey, Brandon and Ben. How has this month been treating you guys?
Very well.
This is December?
Yeah.
We got Smash now, so it's great.
That's it. That's the requirement.
We got the studio this month. It's one of the best months of the year. For this month, I have been really getting, and I'm going to Florida, and I just love, I'm going to play a lot of Odyssey. I'm going to bring my Switch, obviously, and play a lot of Smash, but I'm just excited. I feel bad because my mother-in-law is like, let's do stuff. And Amanda and I are like, no.
Yeah.
Let's not do stuff. And she's like, okay, well, we'll just do these 5 things. We're like, no, we don't know. We just want to sleep. We just want to kick back and have some eggnog.
Yeah, I love eggnog.
For this mode, I've been really getting into photo mode in games, so I wanted to attach some of my favorites I took this year. I hope you enjoy. I do, Megan. These are great. Please keep in mind, these are not the best quality due to my re-uploads, but feel free to critique them all you like. Words cannot express how much you guys make me laugh and smile. All of your shows, especially Box Peak, leave me with so much joy. I just want to thank you for all the hard work you guys do. Keep being awesome, and have a safe and happy holiday. P.S. I think Ben's Wolf Rain is an anime you would really enjoy. Wolf's Rain.
Yeah.
Is an anime you'd really enjoy.
I've seen a little bit of Wolf's Rain when it was on Toonami back in the day.
It's pretty old, but still amazing. Also, just did my first ever live stream on Twitch, and it was terrifying but exhilarating. Any tips for a new streamer? It's okay to take breaks.
Yeah.
It's okay to not look at chat for a while. It's okay to not play the game for a while.
Yep.
You just want to be focused on what you're doing and don't apologize too much for stuff. If you're new, if you don't know this stuff, like that's kind of, people want that realness. They want that rawness.
Exactly.
That's why they go to Twitch.
That's what I was going to say.
It's one of the things that I discovered about live streams, that mistakes aren't bad. Mistakes are kind of fun, actually. Mistakes can be exciting and funny for people. It's when a mistake happens and you really let it bring down your emotions, if you really beat yourself up about it, that's what's not fun. That's what people don't enjoy. But if stuff goes wrong and you're just kind of like, well, what are you gonna do? You know, that's life.
I think people get really upset. I mean, in a lot of ways in life with the social media, but I think people get really obsessed with the numbers.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, I don't have, 100, 500, 1,000 viewers, whatever it is. And it's like, would you rather have 1,000 people who are just watching you because you're popular, or would you rather have 10 people that are really invested in what you're doing?
Yeah.
And so don't care about the number.
Also, if you do check chat after a while and you see a conversation going off in a whole crazy direction, as long as people are being loving and respectful of each other, that's great. That's actually, you want that, because that's what people you want people to be engaged. And obviously there's some streams that we do where we have more community involvement than others, but as long as people are enjoying themselves, as long as people are enjoying being there together, that's what you want. You want everyone to have fun. And I love these screenshots. So obviously, Tetris Effect.
Yep.
And I loved when I booted this first one up and I read this comment, I was like, oh, a Red Dead screenshot would be oh so wonderful. Spider-Man.
Wow, that's a great screenshot.
I love the emotion. I love the some good puddles in that screenshot.
I've never taken a screenshot that good.
And the red, just the tint, the way he's still, and that image actually is very Spider-Man. The back alleyway, just taking a moment to breathe. There's an infamous image of him not becoming Spider-Man anymore, and you see the spider suit in the trash, and Peter's walking away from it, and he's doing that, like head kind of down. You can get a sense of fatigue. And I think there have been a lot of great photo modes this year. I think Spider-Man takes the cake. Like the image that people make of Spider-Man are really, really incredible.
Yeah, that's good.
And it's cool seeing a lot of people that don't typically post pictures. But then look at that. Look at that, gorgeous. I know it's tough.
The Jones show.
For you got the light in your eyes, so you can't really see the depth, but like the richness of the textures, the muscle in the back of that horse's neck, the depth of just like, when you see how the draw distance comes together in Just Cause 4, it makes you miss Red Dead, I'll tell you.
I can't wait for Goaties, man. I can't wait. It's going to be great.
The depth, there is no more impressive moment in Red Dead than when you get to a high, not evolution, high, oh my God, what's the word I'm looking for?
Elevation?
Elevation. And just, there it is. Just look at that world. See that, how far you can see things in the distance, how far you can see animals and birds and deer and carriages and people on horseback, and just such a rich world. We'll move on to the next one, but man, that is a good video game. Oh yeah. That was what I was talking about, baby.
The color of that is
look
just
at that.
So beautiful.
That I feel like more than most open world games we've got near the end of this generation, Horizon is painted. The Horizon is very clearly, like Red Dead and Odyssey, I think, are presented in a way to make the environment look as realistic as possible. And there's so much that's foreign about this world, about seeing the robots walking around, about the style of the blue tubes and the face paint and how people present themselves in this game, that it's just, you can just see the paintbrush just on everything, even if you get a chance to stylize stuff. I love the snow. I'm curious if that's from Frozen Wilds or if that is from a different part of the game.
I would guess Frozen Wilds.
And finally, a little bit hard to see, but Life is Strange 2.
Mm-hmm.
I have not played Life is Strange 2 yet, but it looks like a campfire scene. And sucker for a campfire, for just taking that breather, anything out in the world. I'm curious how many campfires are in that game, but love screenshots. We got a couple deep dives into Star Citizen, which is a game like I don't really follow that much as far as like
follow it at all.
What it looks like visually and how it's evolving, and so really cool to see that stuff.
Cool, great stuff. Thanks for sharing this.
Yeah. And finally, it is time to put on those headphones. We're gonna listen to some music from people, and then we're gonna watch. Congratulations, Ben. Without a doubt, the most dense lineup of videos I have ever seen in the history of the Community Showcase.
Okay.
And I would like to mention that With 15 posts now, we have exceeded the 14 posts that were made for the community comments. So the community showcase has officially overtaken the community comments as the official $10 tier show at patreon.com/EasyAllies.
We did it, folks. I think this was a great idea. Thank you for spearheading this.
I love it. The funny thing about the showcase is every time showcase is coming up, I'm like, oh gosh, showcase is coming up. And then like when I like do the work, it's like, okay, I gotta organize it and then do stuff. And then like right before we start the showcase, I'm just like, okay, I'm so nervous. Do I have everything? And then while we're doing the showcase, it's just the best.
Yeah.
And when it's over, I feel so good. And I love the whole process. It would just be great if we could pay someone else to do it. But moving on, Rafael Ikanaga, who I could not download this video, so we're gonna have to go straight to YouTube and watch this on YouTube. So I might have to go behind the scenes to set this up. Hello, allies. First of all, thank you so much for doing what you do. I've been following some of you for over 10 years. It's both amazing and inspiring to watch you and see how far you've come. I've been producing music for some time now, and I would like to share my solo project called Games with the community and welcome your opinions. Hope some of you like it. Regards from Tokyo, Raphael. No, let's start over. Oh.
Immediately good vibes.
Games.
Walking through time, not very up speed.
Did he box peak?
I heard box peak. Yeah, I definitely heard box peak.
Comfortable times it seems.
I love the bobbing part of the showcase, where it's just us at the desk, like.
Yeah.
We walk slow and no one cares to see. And know about you, you know.
This is a compliment. I think this sounds like the opening to a really cool show. You know, where there's going to be a lot of action. Matthew McConaughey is going to make things happen.
Okay, you can tell it's coming. Of course.
Who wrote the voice? I can't think of who the voice reminds me of.
Patiently at you, this projection of the sun. I can see your edges bouncing. I wanna tune to your frequency. Might just keep on repeating the same track. This is a time where I wanna be. I think I'm trapped in the sequence time machine. Your name so you don't disappear. Then you can left me like only summer can. Pull your arms and you can bring me back from the dead.
These are people that watch us. It's amazing.
No, it's the showcase. The showcase was cute when we first started it, and now we are getting outclassed.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
We should be patrons of you. We like rank Pokemon sometimes.
Build Gundams here.
Yeah, we build Gundams.
Talking about games we've never even played.
Yeah.
Hurts me the most. Yet to where we don't know.
I think I gotta kill it. I think I gotta go.
It's very good though.
We're at 3 minutes.
Yeah.
When we get in, now we're getting into music and video. It's important to note that, again, I want to reiterate, you can go to patreon.com/easyallies, look for the community showcase submissions post for December 2018, because now we're getting into music and video. A lot of this is referencing a greater body of work. And so if you like that track, I guarantee there's gonna be a lot more on that channel, a lot more from that user. What's neat is we've actually seen throughout the showcase is collaboration, which is like the greatest thing I can imagine, where someone will see someone else's work on a showcase, will reach out to that person, person through Patreon or through their website or email or whatever, and then they'll work together on another showcase post. So we're seeing lots of synergy. So these could be fun people to reach out to if you want them to be included.
Cool.
Also going to the internet, because anything posted on SoundCloud, I got to go straight to the actual source.
Excuse me. Sorry about that.
Nice. It happens. Here is Marvin Fawkins. Season's greetings, Ben and Brandon. My very first community showcase submission. I work as a songwriter and usually write pop or EDM tracks, but sometimes you just gotta scratch that itch and make some JRPG music. Hope you enjoy. Love and respect from the Netherlands, Marvin.
I think what she's saying.
No. There we go. Wow, I wonder what that was.
Yeah. What happened? Definitely JRPG vibes. This could be like save music or opening title screen music.
Sure.
I think.
I definitely get Forest vibes.
Forest would be good too. Or like
It's called Haunted something.
you finally uncovered the sacred weapon, you know,
Sure.
in its shrine.
Sure.
I think.
I also like this. I'm getting a separated from your party vibe.
Yes, separated from your party would work very well. And like you're separated from your party, and the mysterious old man is coming to tell you where you'll go now. Yeah.
I liked that little bit there that just happened because that was a little bit of confidence. I like when tracks kind of go back and forth between scary and hopeful. That's what I love about the Resident Evil save room music, because it's right on the line.
Yep.
You're like, this is happy? Again, it's like, compared to the rest of Resident Evil, it's like, this is about as jolly as we're gonna get.
Right. The only comforting moment. The strings really add a lot to this, by the way. Excellent choice there. This is beautiful. Yeah, this would totally fit right into a JRPG.
Also, I just love, just feel like writing some more JRPG music today, you know?
Yeah, right. I wish I had the talent to do that. That's amazing.
One of the things that I'm looking forward to putting myself out there, Ben, it's gonna be scary, but I'm excited to do it, is writing music in dreams.
Oh,
So
yeah,
creating
please,
levels
man.
and then from the ground up, thinking up a theme, writing it, and then, because any dreams level, I want people to be like, this music, where'd you get? And like every time I want to be like, I wrote this. I wrote,
Yeah. Brandon, I mean this. I think you can do anything. I do. Thank you,
I
Ben.
do. I might not create instruments. You can do that too in dreams. I might not go that far. I might steal an instrument from somebody, but it'll be fun to write the theme.
That was very good. Haunted something.
Nice. Haunted something. Loved it. And Kevin Gillet, who is no stranger to the showcase as far as dropping musical bombs on everybody.
Hot beats.
So get prepared. And is almost always in chat. I cannot remember their Twitch name. Kevin Gillet. Hello, Brandon and Ben. Exciting times. Not only will the Game Awards be a nice amuse-bouche before Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I've seriously had the theme of that game in the loop in my head for a week. But the studio revealed itself? Well, not quite, but the keys have at least. I'm not just over the moon, I'm out of the Milky Way. I'm so happy for you guys that this finally happened, and I wish you all the best for the coming weeks of preparation. Meanwhile, for this month's Community Showcase, it would have made sense for me to submit another piece of music inspired by the ever-wonderful Tabletop Escapades. Considering Ben is here, you may high-five Ben on my behalf. You may. I love. What if I was like, no. But of course, it had to be the showcase directly following Box Peak. So I'm sorry, Ben. I'll most likely do more Tabletop Escapades music in the future, and I hope I'll have some for the next time that you're on. Anyway,
Totally
I wanted to
understandable.
celebrate these beautiful 5 episodes Kyle gave us this time by reworking the splendid Box Peak theme song from Phantom NK into a Game Boy Pokemon battle theme.
Nice. That's beautiful.
Hope you like it. Once more, congratulations on getting a studio and a super happy Super Smash Bros. Ultimate release day to all. Because Game Boy music can be a little cutting. Let me
nice.
drop that music level a little bit.
Give me the cut.
One of my favorite things as an editor, Ben, is Game Boy waveforms. They're hilarious.
Yeah.
Because you look at music and it's just this beautiful roller coaster
Right.
ride. You can kind of
Spikes.
see where tracks begin. It's like Tetris pieces. It's
Yeah.
just like, and note, and note.
Yeah.
Like, it's really, really great. So I would love to see the waveforms of this track. Take it away, Kevin.
Oh, that's... Yeah. That's so good, dude! You nailed it! I don't even know what to say!
Kevin takes no prisoners, man.
That's like approaching Game Boy Pokemon music. You've captured it completely.
I don't know if he has. Was that the loop? Going around again.
That part right there. This really is the bopping heads part of the show.
Just want the gif, honestly. Ooh, big finish, big finish. Nice.
Good stuff.
Kevin.
Very impressive.
Out of control.
Out of control.
So good. And again, moving into video for the final portion of the community showcase, I'm telling you, Ben, record number, 17 videos that people have sent.
That's
some comments longer than others.
That's a lot.
And again, it's a good time to mention, if you're leaving any type of media, keep that comment as short as you possibly can, because we want to be respectful to the people leaving comments that don't leave stuff for video. We have some like page-long comments plus a video, but some people, very classy, literally just posted the video. That was it. You know, the video speaks for itself. Alexander Zirionov. Hello, allies. As some of you may know, I'm making Russian and English subtitles for Easy Allies reviews. You definitely need to know that. Alexander has been extremely helpful. Alexander and Friends has been extremely helpful in producing those. I started doing them back in June, but I never liked the idea that subtitles just suddenly appears on review 127. So in September, I decided to make subtitles for every Easy Allies review.
Yeah, this is tremendous work that
I knew that subtitles for old reviews aren't in high demand, but I just wanted to bring harmony to the playlist. Besides, I thought it would be a nice gift to for Easy Allies' 3rd anniversary. Turned out, I can make subtitles much faster than I've expected, so instead of 5 months, it was done in 2, which is great.
That's crazy.
This month's panel has my favorite writer, Ben. Blood in chat is a close second. And my favorite video editor, Brandon. Yay! We're the dream team! I know that making subtitles can be intimidating and it can take a lot of time if you're not sure where to begin. So I prepared a video to show you my method. Wow. Besides my commentary, you'll see the entire I'm so excited to hear Alexander Zirionov's voice. You'll see the entire process of creating Russian and English subtitles for Astro Bot Rescue Mission. Of course, I have to use intense time lapse to fit a 90-minute video into 3 minutes, but my Patreon post also has a link to the full unedited capture if you want to see something in detail. A timer on the top left corner will help you find the same moment in the unedited version, and it'll also show you how much time each step takes. Above and beyond on everything. Above and beyond.
There's above, beyond, and then there's to infinity. I think Alexander is to infinity.
In the work that Alexander is doing for us and in the presentation of this video.
Yeah, no, Alexander, this is unreal, dude.
Hello, allies. I'm Alexander Zarianov, and I'll show you how I make subtitles for Easy Allies reviews. First of all, I take review script and run it through Google Translate. The result has a lot of mistakes, of course, but editing this translation is much faster than writing my own. The next step is editing of the text. At this point, I'm focusing on choosing correct words. I try to fix other mistakes as well, but it's okay to have some at this stage. I also try to pick shorter words and phrases and keep the order of the words. This hurts the quality of text a bit, but it makes subtitles much easier for reading. Once the text is done, I perform spell check to fix most mistakes. Now it's time to turn this text into subtitles. I delete auto-generated timing because it's easier to work with a clean slate. Then I pick a sentence or part of it that is no longer than 2 lines and match it with Brandon's VO.
Called the Playroom VR, a collection of 6 different games.
Hey, that's you.
I try to use pauses in his speech or natural breaking points in the sentence because it makes reading easier. In some cases I can even cut or change a few words to hit the 2-line limit. If review has in-game VO, then I translate it on the fly, and if I can't understand it, then I search for game's quote or for the same gameplay video with subtitles. Then I added subtitles to make sure the text makes sense with splits and is written correctly. Also, I manually insert new lines in more appropriate places to make it easier for reading. Finally, I watch the review and make last-minute adjustments if necessary. Then I download file for backup and submit my subtitles. Making English subtitles is much faster and easier. I upload Russian subtitles I've just did, and then I replace Russian text with English text. If necessary, I quickly check the viewer to make sure that I'm making the split in the same place. Then I insert new lines, watch the review, and submit my subtitles. Finally, I tell Blood that subtitles are ready. As you can see, there's nothing special in the process, and once you get used to
Except that you do it.
doesn't
Yeah,
take long.
That's pretty special.
So don't be afraid to give it a try, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
I
Love
really
and
do
respect everyone. Bye.
love and respect. The biggest love and respect. I feel like you did a great job of explaining that quickly and very concisely.
Yeah.
But really, that just showed me what incredible effort you put in. Like that is real hard work, and you've just come up with this beautiful process. Like I'm blown away. I'm just blown away. And he's so quick about him.
Yeah.
It's not like this is coming, however long later. There are times where I'll do a review and Blood will be like, "Oh yeah, we got subtitles from Alexander from that." I'm like, "What? What?"
One of my favorite subtitles comments recently, I don't remember who asked, but they messaged Kyle and they were like, "How do you spell Mama Thirspies?" And he was like, "Oh, sure. Here's Mama Thirspies." And it's just what a job. You know what I mean? Like what a world that somebody's like at home being like, I need to know. And Kyle's like, oh, right. Yeah. We should have. Because we have subtitles on Backspeak now.
What a positive, upbeat attitude to carry along with that process. Like there's definitely an amount of tedium involved with subtitles, but you like a champ, man.
I also love the attention to detail that I don't really think about that much, but the timing of when you see the subtitles.
Yeah.
So timing it with like figuring out when those pauses happen and when you need to see stuff. Yeah, really, Alexander, that was really great. That was a treat to watch that. Thank you. Master Pants. Hey, I hear you guys like cats.
Love cats.
Dude, high five for cats, man. Here's a video from 2012 of my cat named Samurai stealing my money. He passed away a couple years back, but is still fondly remembered. I just wanted to share this funny video of him with you all and hopefully break 100 views. Currently at 97. Keep up the good work with Easy Allies. Shout outs to Moof. So if you want to help Master Pants get those 3 views on the video, again, you can go, you're watching it here, but you can go to patreon.com/easyallies, find this post, find that link, give them those views. And this is really, really good. I love it. Please, more cat videos.
Did we just high five
from
over
everybody?
Cats?
Oh yeah, we did.
Nice. All right. Milestone for Ben.
Yeah. Lower the volume. It's kind of a scary video.
Oh god.
And the replay.
That's good. Simple but effective. Can relate. Cats are the most lovable jerks in the world. Good stuff.
Dude, this is prime Norbert jerk season because the tree's up. Do you have tree issues with the cats?
We don't. No, we don't put up a tree.
You don't rock the tree?
We don't rock the tree.
Smart.
I mean, honestly, like at this point, that's why.
Productive cat ownership for you there, Ben Moore. Norbert,
they rip up everything else.
If you're the tree and I'm Norbert,
he
just goes to the edge of the couch and is like,
Yep.
And we're like, Norbert, stop. And he's like, what? Stop. This? Stop this?
Stop this? No. Oh. What do you mean?
And he knows. And I'll get up and he's like, oh, are you gonna catch me? Because I'm not gonna run until you get out of that chair. And I'm like, I swear, I want to start keeping little furry objects in my pocket just so I can like, get that pitch down.
You say that, but East, like, every minute of every day, he wants to play fetch with this mouse, and he'll come up, drop it, and then meow until you play fetch with him.
At least he brings it to you.
He does. He does bring it to you. They're going to town on our bed curtains at the moment.
Oh, no.
Bed curtain.
Eric Jackson. Hey, allies. Unfortunately, due to the fact that my father is in the hospital, Love and respect, Eric. I hope that works out well. This week has left me unable to commit to my personal goal of guest art and the follow-up promise of Jones art from last month. Instead, I'll leave for the community a juggling video I made in honor of a friend when I was living in Kansas City, Missouri. Did you think you were getting a juggling video? Be honest.
No, but I'm impressed by juggling.
Where I basically tried to cram as many filters and effects as Premiere Pro would allow before my computer caught fire. I made a personal promise that Jones will get some art next month as a late Christmas gift. Take your time, it's fine. And Ben should expect some fan art to his Twitter feed with a similar time frame. Thanks as always to the wonderful community for their support and the allies for their ceaseless devotion to the righteous cause, and cast our eyes onto the brighter tomorrow. Again, great wording. Love that.
Yeah, that is great.
Let's cast our eyes on some hot juggling action.
Okay, yep. This is
just no big deal. You know, it's just like,
no big deal. Yep.
Like bored almost, just like, you know.
I thought he was gonna get you. I did. I used to be able to do a little bit of juggling. Nowhere near this level. But this he's making it look so easy.
That's dope that you learn how to juggle. What led you to do that?
I think what happened was we went and we saw Cirque du Soleil, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. And so my dad did a cute dad thing, and he's like, well, I got you some juggling balls, son. And so I felt like I had to put in some effort. And so I learned just a little bit, but I was never great at it.
Juggling's fun to learn. It's an easy thing to learn while you're doing something else. You know, you can just be like watching a movie or a show, and just practice. I mean, obviously not any of this craziness.
Yeah, if I could just get back to being able to juggle 3 balls again, I'd be happy.
That is one high ceiling. Yeah, that's right.
that's a good point.
Like, this is my juggling space. Juggling. The last juggling video we got was pins. That's nice to switch. Switch the balls.
The flip of the hand, that's so cool.
I'm curious what I guess a GoPro, but I'm curious like how you captured, that's like distracting it all to juggle with something on your head.
Something on your head, yeah. It would be for me.
Nice. The electric couch connection. Something's going on to those couches are going Super Saiyan or something. They're evolving.
Can you juggle, Brandon?
This one's in my head. I can.
Nice. I'd like to see that.
I played P.T. Barnum in the musical Barnum in high school. Had to learn how to ride on a what are they called? Unicycle. Had to learn to tightrope. Had to learn to juggle.
You could juggle on a unicycle?
I cannot juggle on a unicycle.
Okay.
I can juggle and ride and also ride a unicycle at separate times. I don't know how good I would be on a unicycle now, but yeah, juggling was really fun, and we'd be at rehearsal a lot, so it was just a great thing to do.
Right.
While I was juggling,
yeah,
or while I was rehearsing for stuff, waiting for my scene. I was wondering where we were going to go negative. Come on, spent way too much time losing focus. Interesting effects.
And here we go. Community showcase, Brendan. This one's from a guy.
I used to have my juggling balls in here, but I don't think I do anymore.
Jandon Bones? Wow, he's so good.
There we go. I think the video is just slightly longer than 3 minutes, so boom. Every day I'm juggling. Platinum Adventures. What up, Brandon and Ben? So we were bored one day and decided to create this. Brandon, you're going to love it. There you go.
All right.
I do love this. I'm just letting you know this baby's a little rough. It's good near the end, but if you have to keep your headphones on. For people at home wearing the headphones, just kind of brace yourself.
Okay.
This could get a little rough because after like 10 seconds you're like, oh no, where's this going? And it's going there, but it's a good satisfying conclusion.
Based on the description, I do not know what to expect.
Nobody does.
A little bird, little bird.
Okay, I see what you mean.
A little bird, little bird. 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 A little bird, little bird.
Oh my God.
A little bird, little bird. 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 A little bird, little bird
Little bird.
Just the smile at the end. So good.
I thought like the head was gonna blow up or something.
My head almost blew
Yeah.
up. It's hard to keep your head from not exploding when you get near the end of that. But that's what I love about this was fascinating actually about human speech is the musicality, if you will, of speech that we're unaware of.
Yeah.
That like Mandarin Chinese is based on. That like shu and shu are different words.
Brandon, do you also
You know?
speak Mandarin Chinese?
No, there's just
Okay.
there's a really cool podcast. I think it's a episode of Radio Lab where they talk about the just general tonality of speech and how some languages use it, some languages don't. And it's cool that when it just goes so fast, it's like a sound effect now.
Yeah.
It's just, you know,
Do you
could be
ever-
like a jumping sound effect or like, you know.
Do you ever question what we're putting out there in the world? Like, like I imagine like going on a trip with my family and somebody just comes up that I don't know and they're like, little pig. And then like, I got to explain that and I can't. I don't know.
Dude,
I don't know.
every time I've hit that publish button, every
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
matter if it's on Patreon or whether I hit the stream button on Twitch or whether I post on YouTube. Every single time I click it and then I'm like, what did I do?
Right.
What have I done?
Right.
Surely something in there is just not acceptable. Surely I've made some mistake in putting up that 3-hour thing. I just put up like, oh no.
And like,
That's
on
why
some level, Little Pig is going to be our legacy forever.
That's why I kind of
it's
like
a part of it.
That's why I like live better than anything because you can account for it in the moment. You know, you can be like, wait, no, wait, that thing. Let's talk about it. Let's go through chat. Can be like, you just screwed up. Oh, we just did. Okay,
Right.
sorry. Whereas sometimes when you put up a show, when I put up a trailer, Jones, it's like, man, I don't know the mistakes I made until days, weeks later. There we go.
Damiani Sayonara Gaijin was so good.
Another episode in the ongoing series of the development of Michelle Jackson's game, aka Miscellaneous. Cool. Did I pronounce that correctly? In on Twitch, we got corrected on our pronunciation. Take it away, Michelle. No,
You did that on purpose.
I almost did. I didn't, but I should have.
Hello, everybody. This month, I took a bit of a break from writing code outside of working on version 4 of the City Builder, but I feel like that deserves its own video. So this month, I thought I'd talk through my process for making final designs for characters,
Yes.
since I've talked a little bit about it in the past, but not super in-depth, and I finalized like 20 different characters' designs, so it was a significant part of the month. I also worked a lot on the music this month. Not so many new tracks, but going back and fixing up and finishing older tracks, and I like how a lot of them turned out, so I just thought I'd mention that.
Is that what we're listening to now?
I wonder. I don't know specifically. Yeah, they do get lower thirds, so I would assume. And maybe they can confirm.
Not a super helpful comment, but the coloring on these clothes is good. That would be my critique.
So I like to make sets of either 3 or 5 designs for a character. That way I can avoid sort of the creative tunnel vision that comes with making one design that you edit over and over again. With each new design, I try to interpret the character in a new way. That way I have a wide range of options to choose from. When I'm trying to decide on which of the designs will be the final design or which elements from different designs will make up the final design, I like to ask myself 4 questions. The first being, does this represent my ideals as a designer? Is this something I would consider fashionable? 2, is this of any artistic value? Is it frightening? Is it beautiful? Is it repulsive? Is it cool? 3, does this design represent the character well? Can you tell anything about their background or their personality
So professional.
or the type of image that they're
All
trying
the
to
prep,
present
so much
based
prep.
on the design? And lastly, can you tell anything about the context in which it's being worn from the design itself? Ideally, any design that's final would check all 4 boxes, but in some cases it can only check 2 or 3. That's gonna do it for me this month. I apologize for the insubstantial update. Hopefully I'll have something.
Can you imagine
next
apologizing
month.
for an update like that? I'm sorry. I don't want to raise my
Super
voice.
Smash Brothers comes out. Kirby
But Michelle is
Star
always just
Allies
like,
is my
you know.
pick for
Never
GOTY
apologize for
and
being
my
amazing.
personal favorite OST of the year. Happy holidays to everybody celebrating.
what was the
Love
OST
and
of the
respect,
year?
everybody.
Oh,
Bye.
I don't know. Sorry, I missed it.
I missed it too.
Super Smash Brothers comes out. Kirby Star Allies is my pick for GOTY and my personal favorite OST of the year.
Kirby Star Allies.
Happy
All right,
holidays
nice.
to everybody celebrating. Love and respect, everybody. Bye.
Love and respect to you. Very impressive. Just top to bottom. If that's an insubstantial update, I'd love to see like win all in, because that was really cool.
And I feel bad because some people come in, they just get one little slice. Like I've seen gameplay stuff. There's episodes where she'll code, and you like get into the code. And
But you get to see it all.
I know.
You juggler.
Get it all. We have text for this. I'm gonna read it after. I'm just gonna throw this at you, Ben.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We're just gonna jump right in.
Throw it at me. What? I know what's coming. Is that Huber's voice?
Forgive me for leaving you alone.
Did he record this? What?
That's anything.
No, you had to say something.
I'll talk when it's over.
Okay.
And thus the saga begins.
Hand over the mirror.
Of course. Of course.
Randy.
Oh, of course.
Good. That's my boy.
I don't like any of this.
Oh my god. Yes, that's also
Maybe it's
very...
easy for you to believe that Santa is up to something, but I'm telling you, it's all just some misunderstanding.
Let's eat.
What? Also perfect casting.
I'm no trouble to anyone out here. Just leave me alone, you tall bastard.
So, you've witnessed my skills, and yet you still challenge me? Your funeral, my friend!
Oh, I get to be Tom!
Look at this guy. He looks like a school kid on a snow day. How's your fantasy league doing?
Shut up, you jerk.
Get some ointment for those nips! It's only available during the Christmas holiday. What do you say?
Wait, did Ian say get some ointment for those nips? Okay. Alright, for a second, Brandon, I thought, like, Huber was in a VO booth recording
Trap
Shenmue.
is set. Shouldn't be long now.
So here's what happened. So Dan wrote something for us to read. Ian was on the podcast. I gave it to Ian to read.
Okay.
He read it. Neither of us knew what it was.
Okay.
And it was the intro to Shenmue. And then after we read it, the next week, he put it in the intro.
That's great.
And he actually included me cutting Ian off. Like, I wanted to say something. I was like, oh, somebody mentioned in chat earlier that this... I'm sorry, Ian, continue. And Ian's like, dude, my flow. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Go back to the beginning. And then he starts it over again.
Yeah.
Really, really, really good submission. And then he was like, that went so well. When Kyle was on, he's like, let's keep this going.
Yeah.
And he had Kyle and me read specific lines. So everyone that's not Kyle, myself, or Ian, those lines were taken from streams and you know, Opinion Yell and other things.
That makes sense.
But it's time for you, Ben. Hello, allies. Keeping it brief. This month, the Shenmue EZA dub project continues. First off, a big thank you to Jones and Bossman for going above and beyond last month and reading their lines. Amazing, to say the least. Also, Kyle was very right in that this is going to take a very long time. Even with me only planning on dubbing the opening to this game, getting as many allies in as I can dawn probably not a possibility. With that being said, I thought it'd be fun to, in the meantime, put out an official but silly trailer for the old boy. So here's the official preview of the unofficial Shenmue EZA dub. There's also a shorter teaser I tweeted to Jones. Also, I hate to double dip, if Ben could say, Lan Sama, we found it, that'd be great.
Okay. I just want to say this made my day. Just that video.
You don't have to get too close, remember?
Landi-sama, we found it.
There it is. That'd be great. Just for reasons. Happy holidays, all the love, all the respect. Don't trust Santa. Your friend Dan Allen, Detroit, Michigan. P.S. Any line not recorded specifically for the project is just a placeholder and will not be in the final cut. That one, Brett. I don't like any of this. Man, some of those I think.
The Brad lines were probably my favorite of any of them.
The traps.
I don't like any of this.
Shubankar Parajat, I hope I'm getting that right. Hi allies, I recently joined the $10 Patreon tier and I'm very excited to be making my first submission for the showcase. Before I do that though, I just wanted to let you know that I love the work you guys do and there's no other outlet or content creator I follow as obsessively as I follow you guys. The 9 of you, collectively and individually, have such a unique voice and charm that I don't think anyone else has, so just keep on doing what you do. Can't wait to see how EZA continues to grow in 2019. For my submission, I wanted to show you a trailer I put together not too long ago. A few months back, I started fiddling around with video editing, and I found that I quite liked it. I'm not great at it, and there's still a lot I need to learn, but I've enjoyed being able to put together trailers for the games that I love. I've only made 4 of these so far, but I personally enjoyed making one for The Last of Us more than any of the others. I wanted you to know what you guys think about it, and though any input on how it could be made better is obviously not necessary, it will certainly be appreciated. Most importantly, though, I just hope you enjoy it. Love and respect. I have watched this already. It's a little spoilery. Just heads up, if you haven't finished The Last of Us and it's something you'd like to do, I would bail on this stream for 5 minutes, come back. I believe it's like 2.5 minutes long, but they do show some parts in Last of Us that I was like, oh, I would have not liked to have not seen that before I started my playthrough. But I also kind of like that in doing fan trailers, that you can kind of embellish a little bit more and be this is for people who have seen the game that would just appreciate to remember it. Wouldn't be a good trailer for the game before launch, but if you have played Last of Us,
video editing is so much fun. Did
it's
you
great.
know that, Brendan?
I do. It's a good time.
It is a good time.
You seem to know your way around a gun. You reckon you can handle that?
Well, I sort of shot a rifle before, but it was at rats.
Rats?
With BBs.
Well, it's the same basic concept. Lift it up. All right, now. You're going to lean right into that stock, because it is going to kick a hell of a lot more than any baby rifle.
Okay.
Go ahead and pull the bolt back. This game is so good. Grab it right there. Just tug it. There you go. Now, as soon as you fire, you're going to want to get another round in there quick.
Trey Baker and Ashley Johnson are so
Excuse me.
Yeah.
If I get into trouble down there, you make every shot count. Yeah.
I got this.
Let's go, kiddo.
I think Last of Us should win Soundtrack of the Year.
Joel, I mean, we've come this far.
Theme,
Let's just
when this theme cuts in the opening,
to remind you what is out
and all the news stories are going on.
Guess
about
what? We're
all the
shitty
stuff
people,
that
Joel. It's been that way for a long time.
No, we are survivors.
This is our chance.
It is over, Tess!
Has to take quite a bit of water.
What's wrong? Henry, get back!
Hey. He's pissed, but he's not gonna do anything.
You sure about that?
Stop! I reckon it's got something to do with that girl.
This He's got everything to do with that little girl.
God damn it!
I ain't got time for this.
Where? Well, let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, I had somebody that I cared about. Partner. Somebody I had to look after. And in this world, that sort of shit's good for one thing. Getting you killed.
Definitely made me want to play The Last of Us.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So I have notes. I have things just because I started my started my editing career cutting trailers. Yeah. That's what I did just jokingly before we started Game Trailers, and then I made a couple, and that was kind of one of the seeds for my friend that ultimately had the idea for GameTrailers.com. It was like, ooh, like, that's cool. We should make those. We should put these online. People should check them out. We did an Into the Matrix one that the people at Shiny Entertainment were like, what's happening? They're like, wait, did we make this? Did you make this? What's going on? We're like, oh, it's a fan thing. They're like, people do that? We're like, yeah, It was like, Matrix, 2002. The mix was super hot, and it was some people said to turn it down. That was the mix that was just in the actual trailer. So when you exported that, it was very, very, very loud. So you never want to get into the red. Getting in the yellow is fine. That's kind of where I like to be. That's like the max of what you want to do. But if you find yourself consistently at that level, maybe tone it down a little bit. One thing that I was thinking of at the beginning of the trailer that you started to do later, which was really great, the shot selection, aces. The dialogue you chose, fantastic. What you started to do later, which was really great, is have somebody say something and then not just show that one scene, but then layer in another scene on top of it. That's when you get the gold. Like, so when you have one person telling him something and then maybe a close-up later, or a shot of Ellie looking at Joel, or vice versa, or a gameplay moment that kind of goes in line with what's being said, that I think is kind of like the next level where you can elevate your game in terms of putting all this stuff in the montage together. One of the things that you did that I think works for this and works for a trailer, but is something that a lot of early people that make spec trailers or that make music videos, I feel, and I totally made this mistake, are beholden to the music track. Mm-hmm. Like, they're like, well, I want to use this piece of music, so I'm going to put all the footage on top of it, and then I'll start this moment when the music builds up to that point. Make that music track whatever you want. Make that music track work for you. So, like, an example, there was that great, I think my favorite section of this trailer, where he's like, I had a friend once, that stuff is only good for getting you killed. There were huge gaps in between him talking. So if you can tighten up what he was saying, tighten up those moments. And even if you're like, well, I still have 10 seconds until this music track gets to that point that I want, make those 10 seconds disappear. Just, tighten it. Because when you have sound ups, they can kind of confuse the brain. And when I'm listening to someone talking, you can make a weird music edit in the background and I won't notice it as much, especially if it's like a bang or a big story moment, or something that will kind of pull my attention just for a second. That's when you can cover a lot of invisible, sneaky stuff. If you listen to Podcast Halftime, when I go, our mega sponsor, that covers a really horrible, choppy, easy music edit, but you don't hear it because I just make sure it's right underneath that. But the Podcast Halftime music, because it's got a timeout with the end, and I'm not going to obsess over making that sound good. I just know that's a spot where you're listening to me instead of the music, and you won't necessarily pick that up. So yeah, super nitpicky stuff, but I just say that because this is what I used to, this reminds me, this is me 16 years ago. This is me I remember those days are just
this is useful for me,
playing
Brandon.
the whole game and going back and just putting my, your take, your favorite moments, selling the game from a whole different perspective. I love it.
I gotta make the music work for me.
Yeah. Just make that track your own. Don't be beholden to that. I know you love and respect to the people who wrote the music, but once you put in a trailer, it's your track. Matt Bolenbach, ahoy, Mr. Jones, Mr. Moore, and my fellow allies. The holiday season is truly upon us. When you feel overwhelmed, it is important to take a few moments and relax. To help with that, I submit the following. River of Life from Octopath Traveler.
Oh, nice.
Please enjoy. Love and respect, Matt B. So yeah, we are definitely going to just kick back.
Zen vibes.
Be interesting to see how. Is this up for best score tonight?
I
can't remember if it's on the list.
I can't remember. I was going to say yes, but I don't know. I remember the best score being very weird.
Chess is yes, nice.
Torna wasn't though.
Moving into a new area and hearing its theme for the first time, and the fact that it took so long for me to get to a repeated track in this game, for me to finally get to another desert town, and I was like, oh, it's the desert town theme, got it. But yeah, going through menus or just looking something up online and just having these tracks loop in the background, such a good score. And we were talking about, I was saying earlier how I want games like this. I want Dragon Quest XI, I want Octopath, I want these games to continue to be made. Same goes for the score. I want these type of themes, that really represent a town and are meant to be looped, are meant to just kind of go on and on and on. And they are indicative of the style of the place, but not too obtrusive that there's a big moment that just keeps coming up again. It's just something you could just listen to for a very long time. Also props from an editing perspective on incorporating your track into the actual gameplay.
Yeah.
I really like that extra touch.
Good stuff. I just want to just take a nap listening to this. Just calm me down, get ready to sleep. It's so nice.
I don't think I could take a nap if I tried it and had too much coffee.
I feel like I'm immune to caffeine. Too much.
Really excited about music for Game Awards tonight. Some of those announcements, man. Devil May Cry 5 music live,
being introduced by Rivers Cuomo. I just can't get over it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hans Zimmer. I think there's going to be a lot of musical tributes because I think that's something that people have stated year after year. Those are my favorite parts. Please put more of that stuff in. And the Superstar song from Odyssey. Hearing that live,
yeah.
Matt, really good, Matt. Thank you.
Could be a nice to remember. Thank you.
I make at least one goof of every showcase. Here's my goof. This is just a comment that wound up in the video section for some reason. Alex AI. Hi Ben. Hi Jones. How are you today?
Great.
Well, Hopefully fine. I'm sure being in the business of video game journalism, you have been asked 1,000 times what your most favorite game or series is. It is probably not a stretch to assume that you may have even asked yourself this question more than once. Now, if I don't know if you have a definitive answer for yourself, but me, well, over the years, I have learned about myself that I enjoy so many genres, and yet the SRPG, strategy role-playing game, seems to be my favorite. For some reason, I have way more stamina to play long sessions in this genre, unlike others. However, despite there being so many great SRPGs, the one series that I've always gravitated towards and have beaten well over 7 titles twice in is remarkably unknown outside of Japan. I'm referring to the Super Robot Wars games. For those who don't know this series, imagine Fire Emblem or Shining Force, but instead of a medieval fantasy world, you get a mashup of different worlds across all kinds of mecha anime like Gundam Wing, The Big O, and Macross Plus, while some series original mechs and many more. The games are not outstanding gameplay-wise, but they offer enough depth. To me personally, it's just extremely addicting to watch all those mecha anime series being thrown together and seeing those extremely over-the-top battle animations, as well as listening to the various arrangements of those anime themes and songs and hearing the passion of the voice actors screaming the attack names. It is usually around this time of year that SRW enthusiasts like me get rewarded with an announcement for a new title in the series. This year is no exception, as we actually got several titles revealed during a live stream, one of which was the new console title SRW-T, T for Terra, for the PS4 and Switch. The fans have been rather lukewarm about the previous release, but this one has me quite excited. Spoiler warning for the SRW fans that don't like to watch the reveal trailers that show all mecha anime participating in the upcoming title. We got Cowboy Bebop and Gun Cross Sword, I'm guessing Gun X Sword.
Really?
Plus Captain Harlock and G Gundam in this one.
Wait. Really?
Yeah.
Bebop and G Gundam are in
Apparently
there?
so. I'm fully prepared for 2019. SRWT plus Fire Emblem 3 houses, and maybe more news on SMT5 Switch. Hope you are ready for 2019 as well. Love and respect, Alex AI. P.S. For those who like to read community showcase posts afterwards, here is the link to the SRWT reveal trailer in English, so you can check that out if you would like to.
You have my attention.
Yeah. Now you have my attention. Liam Dennington. Okay. After listening into some of the Box Peak Q&As, I'm sorry, this is, from Green Bendy, preferably known, I just botched it, preferably known as Green Bendy on Twitter and Twitch. After listening into some of the Box Peak Q&As, I suddenly remembered the Dino Crisis Diorama group stream and realized that was probably Kyle's motivation for creating Box Peak. Interesting. So instead of being inspired the normal way in creating a paper puppet show, I went ahead and made a diorama. You are gonna love this, Ben.
Okay.
At first, I wasn't sure what to make, but then I had the realization of video game levels. I could have a good amount of reference, but I could also make more in the future if I wanted. So I started creating my diorama, the heliport on Shadow Moses Island. I hope you guys enjoy.
Okay.
It might take a while for my next
very well.
project, as this did take a while, but I'm also looking to send in some other stuff to the showcase since I upped my pledge. Note, the song at the end is a bit loud. Don't know how to change that, so keep it in mind. Happy showcase, Green Bendy, love and respect. Nice.
Oh, man.
Apologies for the name botch, but yeah, this is really good. So I might drop the music for this overall.
Blink. Oh. I just want to do a solo full playthrough of this for me. If you would like to tune in, that'd be great.
And I like the idea of making a model for something in games because you can move the camera around, you know, and you can get, like every angle. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, cool.
So, showing it off.
Yeah.
Just you can remember it.
Comparison shots. Nice.
I love like all the snow, the little snow packs of paper.
Do you have you have footprints in the snow? Okay, that's so cute. Nice.
Box Peak mod, yeah.
Do we have
mods.
the SOCOM in there?
So cool.
I heard the noise.
Nice.
Better remake than Twin Snakes is a very funny comment.
Those mice
Nice.
are Alaskan field mice. Don't worry, they can't hurt you.
You did inside the vents as well? Oh, cool! Best touch. What if you did the side room as well with the security camera? Very cool. Very good stuff. Yeah, it must have taken forever.
Thank you, Green Bendy. Good stuff. Dominic Barlow, with no comment, literally just the link. And I think that's how everybody should go into this. I think we're just, here it comes. Enjoy. It's not that spoilery. You're fine. Just showing off with the library,
it's
you know? It's just like, okay, all right. You play Bloodborne? Yeah.
This has to be where they're holding Olin's family. Bolted.
Okay.
Come on.
Poor boy.
We heard the commotion outside. You're not one of them. Who are you? Don't be afraid. I'm gonna get you out of here. I hadn't given up on hope.
I'm also gonna kill
I'd
your
forgotten
pigs.
The taste of it. Is it safe for us to leave?
What was that?
The eclipse won't be stopping you. Then it's over. Thank you. But did Olin send you? Where is he?
Listen carefully.
Unless he told me your freedom was his dying wish. He was a foolish man. I know that. A gambler, a chancer. And how can I forgive a knife at my throat and my child's? I know I changed him. He cared so much for us. You're the proof of that. He cared beyond his death. Nothing else mattered to him. It's true. Are you well enough to travel? Yes. They let us eat and sleep, sometimes. I can find a trading caravan going back to the claim. You've done your part. I doubt we'll meet again, but you'll find the soldier who did this. Helis. I will. Trust me.
That was so wonderfully stupid.
Invincible Boar.
Invincible Boar.
Happy holiday. I love just no context, just the link.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Jax McLean. Hi, Ben and Brandon. Longtime fan, first time responding to the community showcase. I've been following you guys since the Game Trailers days, and you always were and still are best in the biz. This month, I have something to share. A trailer for Box Peak. I used to make Game Trailers tributes for the games I played, but that was 7+ years ago. I loved making videos for my Final Fantasy XI link shelf / guild, The Calm. Nice. I would love to see some of those. When everybody was trying their best not to die for hours on end finding Tiamat or Vertra, I was looking for the best camera angles. I was a ranger, so I could do it while shooting arrows. Anyway, I installed Adobe Premiere, downloaded all the Box Peak episodes, some Final Fantasy 15 music, and started tweaking. Since I didn't have the video and audio separate, it was challenging, but I managed to get something out of it. Hope you like it. Music is from Final Fantasy 15 combined with the Box Peak audio. Greetings from the Netherlands. Love and respect, Jax McLean. And I can speak from experience that for the Final Fantasy retrospective, for the Final Fantasy 11 episode, I did a lot of capture, and so I got very used to how to move the keyboard in that direction and get a nice scrolling shot walking around. But yeah, any shot you see of we're going through this area, that's just me walking. There's nothing fancier past that. Love promoting Box Peak. Here we go.
Boxes are complicated, volatile mechanisms. In truth, we barely understand how they work.
That Luke Arnold VO.
I think it's time you learn the truth about your box.
Certainly City! The perfect starting point for my Box Peak adventure.
Hey, you play Box Peak?
No.
Yes, you do. You have a box quarter.
This is for Box Peak!
Smug cow face.
Yeah.
Gets old.
It's time we seriously reconsider the 7 of 7 initiative. I'm going straight to the top, and I'm never gonna lose.
Whoa, it's like a robot arm.
Gotta get the chicken tenders in there.
It's a game about peeking.
Good luck, Geordie Defective. You've got a lifelong fan.
That worked really well.
I like it. Thank you so much for that. David Cleland. Hi, Brandon and Ben. As promised last month, David Cleland, by the way, guy who built that Lego set back there.
Nice.
Or we built it, created it.
My parents commented on that. They were like, they reviewed a Lego review. Yes, Ma.
As promised last month, I'm back with my completed Baby Man animation. David submitted a work in progress of a character he was creating in 3D, and we were terrified that it was some kind of horrific baby man, but it was Santa Claus.
Okay.
I hope you enjoy. I think I'm all caught up in the festive spirit, so have decided to share some good vibes about the Allies when I submit to the showcase. Ben, you are an amazingly positive voice in the Allies. I always appreciate your view on things and passion for games you love, even the ones I may never play. Speaking of voices, Brandon, best voice in the biz, and your interaction and openness with the community through this and Cup of Jones is incredibly refreshing. Happy holidays to all allies around the globe. This showcase every month is one of the many things that demonstrate you are the best community out there. We definitely have the best community. We live in the hope of the 4-year frame trap. 4-year frame trap. We live in hope of the 4-hour frame trap. Love and respect, Dave Cleland. P.S. Great news in the studio. 6 rooms, huh? That sure is a lot of Lego. Can you imagine?
4-year frame trap. Oh
6.
my God.
So here we go. This is the original creation that was not created for the showcase, but for something else, but can show off more of Dave Cleland's talent. And it'll get you in the Christmas mood. Here we go. Oh no, he ate Rudolph. Brutal.
This will get us in the Christmas mood. That's cute. Oh. Poor Rudolph. Really well done, though. Wow. How do people learn this stuff?
I know.
Gotta go back to school.
Yeah. Thanks for the subs. All right, happy gaming. Hello, Brandon and Ben. I'm still in the process of creating getting capture equipment set up, and so I would like to share a newer video episode. It's a little ways down the line. Instead, for the showcase this month, I've decided to trim down and share a previously released episode. This is a recut 3-minute segment from my video essay about one of my favorite games of the year, Celeste, called Celeste and Encouragement. Now that I'm working more regularly, I'm hoping to be putting more video content out, but for anyone else interested, I still do my podcast, Happy Gaming, around once a month. With the podcast, I try to bring a positive mentality to looking and talking about games, and in general, recognize how wonderful the medium can be. Thanks so much to all the allies for being a constant creative and uplifting inspiration throughout the years. I'm hoping to be able to share a new episode in the showcase once a month from now on, if I stay on schedule. For everyone else, I'd love to keep in touch as well. The Easy Allies community seems like the best and most welcoming place to share. I really hope that everyone sees the podcast and the episode and has a happy holiday season. I look forward to seeing what everyone else posts and has been up to. Cheers, Brian from Happy Gaming.
Celeste
explained as a game about climbing a mountain. In the trailer, Celeste is perfectly explained as a game about climbing a mountain. When we start the game, we're introduced to our protagonist, a girl named Madeline, who, under unknown circumstances, has decided that she needs to climb Mount Celeste. There are spikes to avoid, pits to avoid, moving platforms and mechanisms to master the momentum of, as well as other challenges that need to be overcome to reach the peak of the mountain.
Oh yeah,
Were
spoilers
Celeste just
potentially.
a series of levels that need to be overcome,
Good call.
it would still be a masterful
I haven't
game
played
on its
Celeste,
own.
so not sensitive.
But it's how
to
Celeste
do
incorporates
that.
personality and story into every moment of the game, even when its cast of characters are not interacting, that makes it so special. Celeste isn't just a game about platforming after all. It's not about jumping, it's about climbing a mountain through all the difficulties that come with it. Games unto themselves are about overcoming obstacles and challenges. Tetris will speed up as the blocks fall. In Mario, platforms will get further and further away. Enemies will become more demanding and punishing and overwhelming. Games always ask the question as it ramps up, can you do this? Celeste begins as we meet our protagonist Madeline as she begins to climb the mountain. Immediately afterwards, as Madeline is crossing the bridge to the mountain trail, the bridge collapses. With the first foot of her challenge underway, Madeline stops, sighs, exclaiming, "You can do this." Madeline can grip and climb walls, but you can't hold on forever. You have an air dash, but you only get one. With only the dash and your grip at your disposal, you need to climb through areas, and each will give you more and more difficult challenges to overcome. Those strawberries in Celeste come as much more than a simple collectible. The strawberries that you see in every level serve as a sort of lesson for things to come. You see the checklist on your pause menu and the level select screen, but as you see the strawberries sitting in the corner of the room, the language of Celeste's design is not mocking. What its design is saying is different from what most games communicate, from that, can you do this? The game is telling you, and you are telling yourself, you can do this. These encouraging words are at the core of what Celeste is about. From the beginning until the end, Celeste will challenge you, and there's always a momentum pushing at your back, rather than at your front. Happy Gaming is a podcast dedicated to finding optimism as well as passionately and articulately exploring our love and respect for the medium without resorting to cynicism.
I see what you did there.
If you enjoy this podcast and it's brought you some positive thinking, consider sharing with your friends and subscribing to the Happy Gaming Patreon at www.patreon.com/happygaming, where you can show your support and become a patron for as little as $1 a month to help the show grow.
I like that end
Hope you enjoy the
messaging
show
to help me make more.
Gaming.
I definitely say that at the end of every review. Nice. So
Good
go check out
stuff.
their channel if you would like. Super 3D Cow. This is great. I don't know if you've ever got any of these, but this is another ongoing thing that is so awesome that I just love checking in on. Super 3D Cow. Hello, Ben and Brandon. I'm back for another update on my Poppin' music progress. Just so Ben isn't lost, I do a weekly live stream that was heavily inspired by all of you guys. I think of it as my own spiritual successor to Bossman v. Wozniak. I hope you enjoy. So this is
Okay.
a trailer for that actual stream. Oh no, I'm sorry. There's a intro at the end of this video, but here's a little update. Look at this crazy game, man. This game is so nuts.
What?
Are you ready?
I need this game.
Look at that controller.
Ooh. You're so good.
Oh. There is a lot that's happened these past few months in my Poppin' Music streams, and much of it very recently. A new version of the game was released, so now we have tons of new songs, and they finally introduced hold notes.
Oh, nice.
On last week's
I would play the
stream,
hell out of
I got a
this.
perfect on a level 37 song.
That's the right reaction. That's the
That's
reaction.
one of our highest level full combos ever. 37. There's something I haven't mentioned yet about my goal song, Concertaire. I only play this song once a month and count the number of bads to track my progress. My score improved 9 months in a row.
Nice.
And then I messed up.
Mars in this game? Mars in this game?
Lastly, I have now been streaming for over a year. I have had an awesome time doing it. To end this video, I will leave you with my new intro to the live stream.
I want to follow this channel.
It's an instrument. He's playing a musical instrument, basically. It's like, it's not that he's
Super
close to
3D
that.
cow. I'm in, man.
Yeah. Again, check out that channel. Love to showcase work from other channels.
That's
if you're interested,
great.
and check it out. And finally, to wrap up the entire showcase, here's Ian Alexander. This month, I am submitting a video. Here's the link. Love and respect. That's all you get.
Hello, Easy Allies. Hello, Brandon and Ben.
Hello.
I'm here to show you something in my city of Taichung, Taiwan. There's something relevant to your interests. Not relevant really to my interests because I never played this game, but maybe you will think this is cool. Dun, 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 dun. Look at this. It's a giant bronze statue of
I can't see it.
Arthas from
Oh, nice.
World of
Okay.
Warcraft. There's a big
Wow.
plaque here that says,
Look at that!
Just in the middle of the city, you got Arthas?
Like Arthas Park.
Creating the most epic entertainment experience
Cool.
ever.
Isn't that great?
Wow. It's actually made of bronze. Can you believe it? Isn't that pretty crazy?
Yeah. Best
So
character.
yeah, I've never played World of Warcraft, so I don't know. I
That's
guess
okay.
he's the Lich King. I looked it up online.
Yep. Yep.
Basically, a icy
a big deal.
version of Sauron. It
Played a lot of
seems like.
expansion.
Can you just imagine like going out and
Anyway,
grabbing
I thought
lunch
you
and then
guys
just
will
looking at it and being
probably
like,
think that was pretty cool.
I see your hero.
Pretty cool.
So I took a video of it for you.
Pretty cool, Ian.
Okay, bye-bye.
Really enjoyed it. Thank you, man.
That was awesome. Unexpected.
Yeah.
But awesome.
Little Arthas right at the end there.
Yeah.
It's always good to remember. And Cisco Ace Jackson Garcia wrote hold. It was the first comment of everything. And then, again, I refreshed before I went to bed at like 2:30 in the morning, and the post wasn't up, so if it was and I missed it, I apologize. But there we go. That's the showcase. Again, if I missed anybody, please message me and let me know. Get those posts up as soon as you can. Again, the morning of is too late. Late the night before even sometimes is too late. And so, but I try to put up the
Get
post
it in now.
at least no later than a week before. So we do these on Thursdays. It'll be the Thursday before, or maybe a couple days before that. The end of the month can kind of creep up on us. But Ben Moore, everybody. Ben Moore.
Hey, thanks, Brandon. Brandon Jones, everybody.
Mr. Michael Huber will most likely be joining me. He's next on the list. He said it's okay. You never know what's going to happen at the beginning of January. We don't know what's going to happen for the next showcase, actually, because we don't know where that's going to be shot. It'll probably be just shot here. It will probably be the last showcase from the garage, but who knows?
Shooting it upside down.
But the showcase does not happen without our patrons, does not happen without the support that we get. Obviously, thank you to the people that are donating on that level. Hundreds of people donate at the $10 level and are not a part of the showcase just because that's as much as they can afford, and they do want to support the allies. For everybody that does submit stuff, again, it can be anything. Like, I love the little simple pencil sketches. If it's something you want to try out, if there's a new art form that you've been wanting to try out and you want to get better at it, and you want to maybe just submit something once a month, like, this is the place to do it. Like, I just love catching up with people on projects that they're working on things that they're testing out, stories of their lives, games that they enjoyed, places that they've been via photographs, and of course amazing videos that they have made. I'm always blown away. I'm always like,
personal request. More pop-in music, please.
Yeah,
Very curious.
More crazy anime, crazy Japanese peripherals, please. We get some light gun action on the showcase. That would be really great. But yeah, if you are just here on Twitch, you're watching this video later. Again, this is a $10 tier that's on Patreon, so we invite you to go check out patreon.com/easyallies just to check out what is available there. Consider donating at that level or any level if you can. And we will be, we do this submission post again, goes up at the end of the month. We do the show at the beginning of every month, typically the first Thursday, or if the first Thursday is like the first or second, then it's the second one. And I have a different ally with me every time. So again, Michael Huber might be joining me, but Ben will be back sometime in 2019 to look at more showcase posts. And I really had a jolly time with you today.
I had a jolly time
Ben
with you
talking about
too.
this stuff.
Yeah.
And a wonderful time with all of you. Dawn, please. I know, I'll try. I ask every time. I'll try to see if I can just, it'll be like Dawn, like tied up with a gag on his mouth. And I'm just like, you're enjoying it, Dawn. Watch this stuff. I really enjoy it. I had a wonderful time. Time to put on a suit and tie and go to the Game Awards. We will be back on this channel with Game Awards reactions very shortly, and some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate tonight. It's going to be a long, fun day here on Easy Allies Twitch. And all of you make this really great every time that we do the showcase, and I'm so grateful for it. Loved you all. Take care.
Peace.
Peace.